World where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions. Only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Yo, what to do? What the deal? My name's Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Every Tuesday night, these four homies chopping up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. Tonight's show is Weatherly takes a nap as Dak breaks the market, and the Panthers left holding the bag. We'll try to figure out whatever we should figure out about the Carolina Panthers offseason going into this turbulent water, as Carolina has made it known that Teddy Bridgewater is on the trading block, that he's not even worth a bag of Doritos, I think, at this point. Anyway, we'll have that. We have Weatherly saying he was complacent last year. And we'll talk about the greatest Panther ever, J.J. Jansen. How many years has this dude been on the team?
12.
Since
22, yeah, or 12. And that's what I meant.
Yeah.
22 years.
Feels like it was 22, right?
Yeah.
Been here since their inaugural 1993 season.
Oh, that's awesome. No, so we'll try to figure out a little bit. Taylor Moton franchise tag, maybe a deal. Some other news that's related to the Panthers, kind of secondary, like 6 degrees or whatever the separation rule is. But I'll have my homies help me figure all that out. And my main man, Cody Lashney, tearing up the airwaves, tearing up the live streams, getting into that quarterback film. Welcome back to the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Tony Dunn, there's no way I'd rather be on a Tuesday night. You gave me the keys to the C3 Kingdom to show some film to these Panther fans, man, to talk quarterbacks. I love doing it. The fans seem interested in it. I'm going to do more of it, man. We're going to do some offensive tackles coming up here soon. I'm loving the film room. You know I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff, so I love it. To all the fans listening, if you like the content that I'm doing, hit a like and subscribe, man. Show some love. Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about today. And as always, we're going to do it with the best Panther fans in all of YouTube. You already know it. It's Jason Lewis in the house, Brad Dugan, Moneybags Lawson, Chuck from Elizabeth City, Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel, Blake Bettis, Brad Dugan. Let me make sure I mention 10 Tizzy so he doesn't get his feelings all up in a tizzy. Jason Lewis, Nick Montiero, Blake Bettis, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
CK in the house, the man of many streams, on that gaming all day long. How you doing, CK?
Man, living the dream, as you all know. But I have to contest something. Cody said you'd have nowhere else you'd rather be. I guarantee you got 3 beautiful women in that bed behind you. There's some other places you'd rather be right now.
Well, I mean, you know.
Or maybe not. Maybe not. He wants to share that that visual love that he's making right there.
Well, I mean, you know, look, when I say there's nowhere I'd rather be, there's nowhere I'd rather be. They would all have to be.
They would have to. Yeah,
they would have to get Caroline Can level hot or above. Maybe 5. See, that's how much dedication I have to the show, boys. That's what I'm saying.
I love it. We got Greg in the house, the Bat Daddy, the Man of Many Podcast. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Tuesday night, always a fun place to be to talk some Panthers football. I got a situational question I'm going to put out here tonight to ask y'all about some players. I'm interested to see what you're going to say because we might be put in the situation. So,
right. Man, we might. The Situation Room. That's later to come on the C3 Panthers Podcast. Hey, guys, the number's 252-228-5098. You can jump in the conversation and call into the show. We will we'll host a call. We'll field your calls. It's going to be a lot of calls tonight. There is some quick news hitters that we're going to hit and this and that, but call into the show. You like what we're doing. You're a Panthers fan. You want to be part of this community. But the way I think about this podcast is it's a bunch of homies in a car riding to the game, talking shit on the way there, talking shit on the way back. So if you want to jump in on this ride, which is the longest running Panthers podcast, just smash the thumbs up button, hit a subscribe. You listen on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your mess. Give us a little rating and share it. I mean, like, what's the harm? You hit the share button and boom, you did someone a major solid. It's as good as giving money. And that's what I would love from you guys, is growing this podcast together. And tonight we're going to talk about, first up, Taylor Moton. The Carolina Panthers have again fucked it up, in my opinion. They franchised Moton rather than signing him. Now, this does not mean a deal is not or could not be made, is not in the works. This is preventing Taylor Moton from hitting free agency, is what it's doing. But my question is, what the why is it taking so long? A young man who has probably been the best part. If he was a star, if he was in a skill position, he's equivalent to Christian McCaffrey. He's equivalent to Brian Burns. He is the offensive right tackle version of that. But no, the Panthers hate to have an offensive line. They're allergic to an offensive line, Cody. Why can we not have an offensive line?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Listen, I kind of went off on Twitter the other day. I was upset that we were in talks to franchise tag him instead of just signing him outright. Then apparently both sides are still trying to figure out and get a deal done. I'm not going to fully flip out yet because I kind of do think that they are going to try and sign him up. Listen, I'm kind of at the point where, you know, especially coming off the heels of Marty Hurney, like, I'm at the point where I want to give Scott Fitterer the benefit of the doubt a little bit. I think in his very short tenure here, he's done some good things. He's made some moves that I think we all would.
He hasn't done anything.
Well, look,
anything? No. What has he really done?
Can I tell you this right here is something important that he's done? To be truly honest with you, I know you say the franchise tag is bad, but think about it like this: his priority right now is getting a quarterback. They're doing everything they can to free up space. He's giving himself as many options as he can to fight for that quarterback, whatever position, the draft pick or a free agent that he wants, and he's keeping Moton away from free agency. Yeah, that's a good move in my opinion. You can
even beyond that, there's a couple of pieces to this that we just don't understand yet, right? The league has yet to establish what the cap is going to be this year. They haven't done it yet. Right. And they're waiting. And if you read into the news that we're probably going to be talking about at some point, which is this massive contract
right now,
you know, that being said, like there are sources within the league that are saying that is Jerry Jones alluding to what was going to be a massive television deal that will be coming in the next few weeks, if nothing else. Basically, the NFL has all the networks over the coals. Apparently, they're bringing back ABC into the mix for games. They're bringing in the possibility of other, networks taking a hold of some things. ESPN would like to be in the bidding for Super Bowl games. All of these things are starting to happen. And so when you see a contract like this coming out, when all indications it was going to be a massacre week, everybody was going to be cutting people because we didn't know what the contracts were going to look like because we don't know what the cap is going to be. I think right now, what our GM is doing is he's providing himself a bit of stability leading into an uncertain future. He knows that this is going to cost him this amount, guaranteed, right? Whereas, and it might hurt us in the long run if this cap number comes out and it goes skyrocket. Well, guess what? Taylor Moton has another leg to stand on. Like, hey, you guys got more money. I ain't signing a long-term deal until you guys give me this much. And that's where Jerry Jones was really smart about this, even though he paid Dak way too much, in my opinion. Even though he's done wonders for that organization.
And coming off a mega injury, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the part of it that a lot of people were questioning is why pay him this type of money. But I think it's because we're about to learn of news about this cap being, I'm not going to say it's going to go skyrocketed, but I think it's going to increase more than what people thought. And if a lot of people were thinking it was going to decrease. I have
a hard problem with this story and this kind of take. So we look all right. So the cap has been going up and up for the last 8 years. Yeah, something like that. Yes, the TV companies going to come in they were just 2 years ago. I feel like a lot of these kind of networks just struggling to exist. Disney stock, interestingly, is very high right now.
Yeah.
It is just gone. It's doubled over the last 2 years. And Disney owns ESPN, as far as I know, right? So there is the pandemic has kind of thrown a curveball into what we saw digital media or whatever you want to call it, what we thought was becoming of it. And we thought they were losing traction in some ways. I thought that then the network and this and that. And now the teams, if this is right, Cody, and you're what Jerry Jones is suggesting, or we think he's
source,
whatever it is that means that the NFL doesn't even have to have players people in the stadiums to make $1 billion. But I can't believe it. I cannot believe.
You got to keep in mind the
NFL is this smart. No,
but my thing is this: Jerry Jones has been the richest owner in the NFL, or one of for forever. Like why? Like he's known for signing players to too much money, and they haven't really been a relevant football team since the 90s. It just seems like he's not. If he's so ahead of the curve and gets all the deals, like. I don't know. It just seems like more conspiracy than anything else. I mean, sure
you got to understand, like the Dallas Cowboys have one of the largest market shares in the NFL. Believe it or not, Jerry Jones is involved in the NFL's back office, and more so than probably people realize. I mean, because he is a big part of what the NFL is.
He's always involved. He's kind of a face of the league.
Exactly, and so
the demon face of the league.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, right now, with an uncertain Dak Prescott, right, coming off of a gruesome injury that even with his last surgery, they said was maybe more serious than they had originally thought, they still had the confidence to sign him to that type of a contract. I mean, you got to expect, especially in the midst of uncertainty, if he didn't know something was coming as far as the cap, I mean, you gotta wonder what was the benefit of signing Dak Prescott? Because, I mean, he might have a winning record, but he does not have a record that's indicating that he's able to take a team to the Super Bowl.
Listen to this. The deal, this is from NFL.com. The deal has a maximum value of $164 million, including $126 million in guaranteed
money. Bro. He makes $72 million this year alone. Think about that.
Jerry Jones?
No. Dak, bro.
Dak. Oh, Dak. No, I was about to say Jerry Jones.
$126 million guaranteed is the big. First of all, it's like it's almost a fully guaranteed.
Almost, yeah.
Cowboy fans.
So it says Prescott's deal averages to $42 million a year over the first 3 seasons, with $75 million in the first season and a $66 million signing bonus. I'll be interested if Dallas really pays that all in one season. Because I know they try to say those things, but usually all the bonuses are prorated over the life of the contract. I'd be interested.
They're paying $74 million this year, and then what happens is they have such a small cap hit after this. This year is going to be incredibly high as far as cap hit, but after this year, it's basically peanuts compared to any other quarterback.
Right? No, yeah, exactly, and he's got to just stick with it, or does he?
My question is,
can he just be like, fuck y'all, I'm getting fat and chilling?
Why didn't they do this sooner? Like, if they think that he's worth that kind of money, then why not do this 2 years ago? Why drag this out to right now? Like, I get maybe that's why people are kind of, theorizing, oh, maybe we'll be able to afford it because Jerry knows something. Maybe. I don't know. I just think it's kind of crazy, man. And you look at how many people they're playing. Remember a few years ago when it seemed like the Los Angeles Rams had just paid every fucking player under the sun?
Yeah.
And they just had millions and millions of dollars going out. Dude, the Cowboys are paying everyone. They're paying Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, Zach Martin, Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
But dude, they're paying so many.
Did they pay Amari? Did they?
Yeah,
They-
I mean, he's not on it. Yeah, he's not on it. Yeah, they paid him, I think, a year or two ago.
All right, I think here, and look, I don't know the details of the Dallas Cowboys salary cap.
Yeah,
ever. But the way CK is explaining to me with this giant money dump in the beginning, it's kind of like the opposite of what we're used to.
Yeah,
with contracts, right? Is usually the money dumps are kind of the end. You're trying to prorate this guaranteed.
Yeah.
They're taking all of this. They're just taking the Dak Prescott right up the ass in the first year.
Yeah.
What we saw with Mike McCarthy and it being just awful, abysmal. Is there any chance that this is kind of a couple year play where like, hey, we paid our quarterback. We're going to just suck a D right now. The fans will like us enough where, because we honored this player. He's coming off injury. But you could cut him or trade him in 2 years.
Yeah.
I think there's a no trade clause.
Yeah, he's got a no trade clause and a no tag clause as well. He can't be franchise tagged at the end of his contract.
They're swallowing a $75 million donut this year.
But after they do that, they don't have to worry about hardly any of it. It's very smart putting it all up front in the signing bonus. Yeah.
And my question is Mike McCarthy going to be the coach in 2022?
That's a good question.
Yeah. And I got to say, no, it sounds like they're all already setting up for a reboot.
Yeah.
Well, do you know part of the reason why this contract happened is because what Cody was alluding to a minute ago about why they didn't do it 2 years ago? I kind of think of it like a poker game. You know how you get to a poker game, you start to get low on chips, you get a little more aggressive trying to win, and then you get to the point where you're down to nothing, and you fucked up the last two hands, so you might as well just go all in and hopefully you win, which is what they did with the contract, or you're just going to walk away with egg on your face because you wasted all this, made bad moves, and that's the point they're at, and that's part of the reason why they're doing this. They're going all in because they've messed up the last 2 years with the franchise tags they paid him. Because he got tagged last year. Yeah. Right. If they would have signed him 2 years ago, like they would have already had him paid off way less than what they paid him in the last 2 years with the franchise tag.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. They messed up so bad. It
makes no sense to me. Let's go through this real quick. Do any of us think that Dak is worth that money?
No.
I sure
not
don't.
That money.
The thing everybody wanted to point out, let's look at it from this perspective. Everybody last year wanted to point out how bad the Dallas Cowboys were after he left. They were already really bad before he even got injured. Like they weren't winning very many games.
He was throwing like 5,000 yards.
He was. Yeah. But again, I mean, they were not winning. They weren't like, so I mean, as far as putting all that money on that position, even with him being in there and throwing the rock around, like, and a lot of that was garbage time. Let's be honest. Let's go back and watch that.
You're right.
A lot of that, they were down by 20 points and they were just having to air the ball out.
You're right.
It was not a fantastic. It was great because we saw, I think, the Atlanta Falcons lose to him and they shouldn't have, like, or something like that.
No,
but it was
not now. I wish that had won. I wish the Falcons would have won.
Right.
Maybe the number 3 spot.
Man,
Sorry,
I want to answer Cody's question. And what if this contract was cheaper for them than what they would have had to pay
somebody else
to start over again?
Yeah, that's the part. That's the question.
Like, do they have to trade up? Do they have to do they have to suck for a year? Do they have to this or that? Is this contract cheaper? Yes, it's the most expensive contract in the history of the history. But is it cheaper in the pound of flesh that you would have to give if you went a different direction at this point?
That's the part. That's the question. And that's why I think that you have to read between the lines with something like this and realize maybe there is something that Jerry Jones knows about what either the market's going to look like even next year or whatever that may look like. Because I mean,
he's tanking. I think they're tanking, dude. I think they're
No,
tanking.
who,
But
the
how
Cowboys?
You don't tank with that type of contract.
Why would the Cowboys
They have
tank?
everything they need. They just
They
have
have-
a few pieces they need to
Mike
add.
They need
McCarthy out
defense.
the window, bro.
Yeah.
Mike
They-
McCarthy,
they-
if he don't win it all, if he don't win the NFC, what are they in the East?
Yeah,
This
they're
year.
they should win that.
They're playing. He will not be. He better have it. If he don't win, if the Cowboys don't win 10 games, bro, this homie better. He's
Yeah.
not gonna have a job.
Well,
That's
they're gonna be the New Orleans Saints. Like if you look, the New Orleans Saints, they released their punter Thomas Morstead,
Yep.
and there's still like $62 million in the red. Like
Yeah.
that, dude, it's crazy. That's gonna be
Will Lutz took a
the
tremendous
Cowboys.
pay cut as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what all this puts into context for me, and it's I mean, look, I think as the days go by, maybe this is just me being a realist, or maybe I'm a Debbie Downer. I don't know. I think as time goes on, the chances of us landing Deshaun Watson are probably getting smaller as
Yeah.
the headlines start.
getting smaller when they
Well,
were at
because
zero. They
no,
were
no,
at
listen, it's what.
4,
Whatever.
bro.
All I'm saying is that all the reports are now saying that the Jets, the Dolphins.
But I don't
I've heard
Yeah.
Arizona too.
Right. Yeah, this is
No
what,
way,
this is
Arizona
what you've been
puts
saying.
that-
We've been saying this. We've definitely been saying this. But my thing is this: knowing that we're probably not going to get to Sean, man, getting one of these top 4 quarterbacks in this year's draft is even more important, because just knowing how much these quarterbacks go for, you essentially renew your window whenever you draft a brand new quarterback, because the fact that you have them on a rookie deal for at least 5 years, you have that guaranteed 5th-year option. Like, dude, imagine not having to pay 27 to 30 something million dollars a year on your quarterback. Like, you can invest in other parts of football.
44 or 75.
Yeah, just insane, man.
75.
100 by the time if you draft a quarterback right now, it'll be 100 by the time they're ready for their contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be
Pay
bananas.
your quarterback. If we
Mhm.
pay a quarterback next year, I don't care who the fuck he was. If we paid him $75 million, there's no way we're going to be good. But I think Dallas is playing 2 steps down the road on this. Is that like, you know what? We know we're not going to be good next year.
Yeah.
But
Won't
no,
have enough. And then the following year, our quarterback's going to cost us like a bag of peanuts.
but what do you mean they don't have enough? Like they just signed Dak
They really-
Prescott. They've got Ezekiel Elliott. They've got Amari Cooper. They've got CeeDee Lamb.
They
They've
got one
an
of the best
amazing
offensive
offense.
linemen. That their
Yeah.
offensive line
Their
is
offense is they just need a
But
few
why are
pieces
they
on
so
defense,
good?
and they
How-
got the number 10
why
pick
are they
because they're the
so
Cowboys. They always have a good team on paper, and they
But,
suck. They're
Greg,
just the
how-
Cowboys, man.
How many defensive players did you just name?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They need
But
help
that's-
on defense, but
Yeah,
they're
but
not
I
a
mean-
terrible team. There's no way you tank
were
with that
on-
roster. With that roster, you can't
I'm
tank.
not
It's
saying that.
impossible.
I don't. That's a good question. All right. So what is this a Mike McCarthy make it like here? That what they're kind of saying is like, here, we gave you Dak. You got this, you got
Yeah.
that. If you can't get it done, then you're fucking out of here, homie.
I believe that.
that's
I
what I
definitely believe that. Yep.
All right, I believe that. All right, so go into the chat room, Isaiah Wilson. People keep talking about this and that when it comes to Isaiah Wilson. What does this do to our kind of perception? He goes to the Dolphins. We talked about it earlier in the show, number 29 pick, Tennessee. What's interesting to me is a man who's struggled with environment and culture has got to now go do that in Miami. Ugh, poor guy. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Party, it's like the party place of the world, right?
Half naked broads, tons
Yeah,
of cocaine,
All those, yeah,
beaches.
good luck. It's like just sticking yourself right in the fire. But does this tell us does this suggest to us potentially what the Dolphins are trying to do? You brought up Deshaun Watson. They're switching these and that picks there, but they got all these picks. Are they going after Deshaun Watson? Are they trying to build up an offensive line for him? I don't know. Anything in this news, Cody, that gives you any insight into what the Panthers could be facing in the NFL draft?
Well, I mean, so this is kind of the dilemma. if the Texans trade, which they're pretty much going to have to, like they're going to be stuck between having to find Deshaun for every day he doesn't arrive, and then start their season with AJ McCarron as their starter and no JJ Watt and DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. So again, we know that if Houston trades in front of us, that's another quarterback that we're probably not getting. So, it's a weird situation to be in for the Panthers because, there are two teams that are ahead of us that are really going to cause a problem. Because
they're building could be an attempt for them to build the offensive line.
Yeah.
And get a signal then that we're trying to make some moves, do this and that, in padding in preparation for Deshaun Watson.
That's what it seems like. That's definitely what it seems like. And they have the money to be able to do it, and they have the draft picks to be able to do it too. So,
and I think the thing is too, with the way they're setting up for it, if you don't land Deshaun Watson, you're still in a good spot as far as you've got a lot of draft, you got a lot of room. You've got a lot of options. So that's the best thing is options are open, I think, and that's the best place you can be going into the unknown.
Yeah, they're ready. They're locked and loaded. They're cocked and loaded. They're ready to fuck up the damn. What are they? The AFC East, North.
Dude, let me tell you, that's going to be a crazy division after this year. So
do you think? Do you think that the Texans would actually trade them with interconference? Because you got to think about that division, like you're talking about.
They're not in the same. They're not in the same.
No, they're not.
You know about the Dolphins and the Houston's? I'm talking about conference, not division. Conference.
I really don't think they care at this point because they have no other options.
If you do, you have the Bears, you have the 49ers, you have the Panthers. I know you're not going to necessarily get the draft capital, but think about who they have to face every year. Look at the AFC, right? Everybody, and I've seen people talk about this in chat before. You have Lamar Jackson, you have Mahomes, you have Herbert, you have all these, like if you can go down the list, AFC is stacked with quarterbacks.
Trevor Lawrence is coming in.
Trevor Lawrence is going to be down there. Then you have Josh Allen. You have a lot of fantastic quarterbacks. Are you really going to want to trade that person inside the same conference, or are you going to want to ship them over to the NFC? I feel like personally, if I'm looking at the type of talent that you're going to have to face on a year in and year out basis, you don't want to ship a proven quarterback in same conference because it's going to hurt your chances for number one division, but also conference wins as well.
Well, but it's a give and take, right? Because you are trading him to another team in the AFC, but if you trade him to the NFC, there's no guarantee that you get a quarterback to replace him with.
Yeah,
so that's their dilemma. If they have a chance to get either Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. Yeah. And basically it's the number 2 or number 3 pick that gets them that player. Yeah. Maybe if they trade Deshaun to us, maybe Trey Lance falls to them at number 8. But even then, there's no, there really is no guarantee. We still don't know what the Falcons are going to do.
No,
even Falcon fans don't have any idea if they're going to go with Matt Ryan for another year or two, or do that anyway, but just draft a quarterback to sit behind Matt Ryan and learn. I think
the problem is that team, the Falcons have got to draft a quarterback because it's getting to that point where if they plan on tanking next year, that's different. But we all know that that's not going to be their goal going into the season with a roster like they have. They've always had a good offense. They have Julio Jones. The amount of money they're paying out to not be a contender would be asinine for them not to try to play and win this year. But if you're not planning to tank this year, well, guess what? You're that much closer to not having a quarterback when Matt Ryan does either start his decline if he hasn't already started it. So I think they definitely are going to be going quarterback this year. So that in my opinion, that's already answered personally.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to talk about Greg Olsen and Thomas Davis' son and 1 year, 1 day contracts retiring as Carolina Panthers. And for those people who were concerned that they wouldn't, gosh, come on.
Come on.
Panthers through and through. CK, I need your voice. Hit him with a little shame. A little shame.
Subscriber shame. Like that?
63 people watching on YouTube right now. We got 26 thumbs up.
Hit the thumbs up.
Yeah,
Come on, let's go.
It's free. It's free.
It's free.
You share that. Let's
And it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic to all Panthers fans everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Feel like
Just
you
hit
walk
it.
around, you
Don't
see
even
emotion as well,
don't even be
very
gentle
therapeutic.
about it. Just hit
Yeah.
it, bro.
Yeah,
You
smash
saw
it.
it on the internet. If you saw a Panthers fan on the street, what would you do? You give them a thumbs up. Boom.
Yeah,
Boom.
and say keep pounding. Keep pounding the thumbs up.
Come on, folks. Come on. Let's go ahead and jump into the cat calls tonight. Let's see where you guys want to take us, because there is still a little bit of news that's kind of just convergent on the Panthers. Maybe not direct news, but let's see where you guys want the conversation to go. The number's 252-228-5098.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling? Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody. And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like a 3 and a 4 and a. Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Yo, Panther family, Panther Nation, C3 fam, all y'all in the chat. How you doing tonight? It's your boy, Josh from Mass.
Josh from Mass. There you go.
Man, I'm so over this Teddy shit, man. Like, I wish he wasn't on the team no more, so we just didn't have to think about him. But no, he's still there being a soft ass mug. Can't take the criticism that he justly deserves. And you can't. Whoa. We have a terrible offensive line. Look, our offensive line averaged something like being like 18th overall in the league, which, okay, that ain't great. It ain't terrible either. And it's been said over and over and over, it's probably the best that offensive line has looked since 2017, give or take. So, maybe even the best it's looked since the Super Bowl run. But enough of making excuses for this man. It's so sad. It's so pathetic. He ain't giving nothing to this franchise. He's never going to give anything to this franchise. I don't know if y'all noticed that. He ain't going to give nothing to the Carolinas other than just being a dude who rides into town, collects his paycheck, and goes and does his business, his shitty business somewhere else. Like a bad insurance salesman. He needs to get kicked the fuck out of Charlotte ASAP. And looking to the draft, the more I see, the more certain opinions get confirmed, and the more certain opinions kind of change. Kind of warmed up to Lansing Fields a bit, checking out some film, listening to what a wider array of analysts have had to say about him. Warmed up to those prospects. But the pot roast brain mugs who are out there going, we get Mac Jones. No, y'all down. Go back to eating your fucking crayons over there at the kids' table. We ain't need that kind of bullshit. Like this stick man, pocket only, needs an elite O-line, needs elite weapons, needs elite everything around there, and then he'll probably need a solid defense, because if he doesn't have all of those things on offense around him, he's probably not going to be the guy to pull it out in tricky situations. Everybody go, oh, well, that's what your defense is for. Like, your defense isn't ever supposed to let up points. Like, sometimes people just figure y'all out, or you have a bad week, or somebody gets hurt. So you need a complete team, but you can't be in need of a completely elite team to cover up for your bad quarterback. Oh, yeah. man, I'm out of time. Hold on. We got to flip this over. Side 2.
Hit the B side.
All right, let's see what he's going to say. I think. Lay.
Hey, Josh from Mass. Welcome to Side B. Anyway, and by the time you hear this, it'll be on the verge of free agency really starting and the cuts really starting. But once that happens, y'all think that the class of tight ends that's out there, on the free agent market is ridiculous. Wait till you see what's going to be coming. Like, this is why, like, nah. Don't make any moves now. Wait. Because the cuts are coming, and they're going to be, it's going to look like a massacre because a lot of teams didn't count on this cap being where it is. There's a lot of teams that seem to just think that the cap was still going to be over 200 mil, and it ain't. It ain't going to be 185 either. It's going to be rough for a lot of teams. So we're actually in a pretty good situation. I believe we've got the most cap space in the NFC. Yeah, we do. Oh, wow.
Wow.
You know, with a flooded market, man, and decent cap space, we might be able to pull a lot off.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking picking guys up for 1 or 2 years and trying to make a push or make a run or whatever. No, I'm talking you could pick guys up on probably 3-4 year deals and have them cover the needs so that way we're not trying to draft guys all over the goddamn place. Because this roster is so holy right now that you think himself blessed it.
I mean, hey, listen.
This roster is like a Mennonite's bed sheet. There's a hole in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
messed up.
through it all here, we got to get rid of Teddy. We need to draft a quarterback. I'd like us to not have to move up. But I don't trust teams like Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't trust Philly.
Well, no, we're
Like,
not
Philly is a
trade
team
with
that should just be
Atlanta's
told, no,
never
you don't
gonna
get to
help
draft
us.
no more quarterbacks because you draft a quarterback
They're
every
the
goddamn
devil.
year and you do nothing with them. You just go sit down somewhere. I think the whole NFC East should just have to give up their draft picks for being a mockery this year. And, yeah, and I will say this. If Teddy Bridgewater is the starting quarterback during the season, it's going to make me strongly question whether I come down to Charlotte from Massachusetts and watch a game, assuming we can do that. But
Make it to the games, yeah.
it's going to make me think real hard about it. Like, I'm not going to pay all that money and invest all that time and bring friends and family and shit with me if we're just going to trot out this sad, sorry, soft motherfucker.
Would you
Josh
come
Mack,
down?
out of time?
Josh, would you come down if we started Will Greer, though? No, he wouldn't.
Probably not. I mean, I don't know. That'd be a good question if we could ask him. We could run through the list. PJ Walker, are you making the trip to see PJ?
No.
How about Will Greer? No, probably not. Yeah, that actually brings me to Zero Chill in the chat. He was pretty much saying, do we have to draft a quarterback? Like, is it do or die for us to draft a quarterback?
No, certainly not.
I think it is, man.
For this year, if we want to be relevant this year, it is, but it's never do or die when you are in the middle of a rebuild. Like, right? I mean, we could absolutely be. I mean, it might be something that we make a big priority, but at the same time, if we didn't and we made a priority to maybe realize that who knows who's on the market next year. There's a lot of different moving parts. The thing that I think is I wanted to talk about, and just to urge Tony, is we could probably get all these free agents that are hitting the market if they come in for the vet mid.
Oh my God!
If they come for the vet mid, but yeah, that's I think you'd be facetious. Yeah, because here's
probably at the wall, CK.
Yeah.
I know. But what I was gonna say is like,
how many times I haven't said something about it. Like, I think he's trolling me.
Oh, I think he is too. After you said it the first time, I think he's now doing it.
Not me, but like he has been doing this. Josh Klein from the Riot Report, every single player. And you know what? I will tell you this. I'm calling you out, Josh Klein, for this. Is stop all of a sudden because you have become part of the media, the local media, because you're credentialed, right? And I understand that Panther fans probably light your mentions up like crazy. Like every time somebody gets cut, right? That they're probably like, oh, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Should we sign Alex Smith? Should we blah, blah, whatever?
Should we get Hunter Henry, yeah.
But don't adopt the company policy of the Carolina Panthers media of Bill Voth and Darren Gant, which is just complete 100% assery on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we don't want are you? Is it a joke? Are you fucking with me? Are you talking shit to me? Are you just joking in general? I don't get it, and I don't like it, and that's what I'm saying. Is this whatever, man?
Especially since we're a small market team, talking down to fans like they're stupid. You know, it's just not really
not a great look, certainly. You know, I'll be the first to say that, but you got to keep in mind now our owner is somebody who's from the north. You know, so I mean that type of talking. I mean, that's very common within any type of northern media, sports, coverage or anything like that.
I'm not trying to look, because you know what, you can think whatever. First of all, it's like we're a small media. I'll say that. Like the C3 Panthers podcast is small media.
Yeah,
we're independent media. And so is the Roaring Riot. And I know Zach, and like it's not like I just think this is that like when I don't understand. Are you trying to help us learn about the Carolina Panthers, or are you trying to tell us we don't know shit about the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah. Right.
And I can't figure it out. And this vet men, it feels like it's a passive aggressive hashtag. At first, I think I was baited into believing he was like actually thinking it.
Yeah.
Like for the first two tweets, I was like, okay. He wants Eric Cook. He wants this. He wants this. And it's his way of just saying every free agent is what Panthers want.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, man. Like it's like we're trying to figure it out just as much as you are, and you don't know shit.
Yeah. Well, the thing that and just not to switch subjects, but I want to think about it before I forget. I know we've talked about Trey Lance. Is there anything to take away from the fact that he has opted out of the 40?
Where are you hearing this from?
It was on the news. I think it was on NFL Network. He is not going to run the 40 at the combine.
There's no combine though, so it's pro day probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably is pro day.
That is interesting. I don't know what that means.
Like, would there be a justification on why you wouldn't want to do that?
I don't know.
Make yourself drop in the draft?
No, the only reason, like Lamar Jackson didn't run a 40, but that's because people were saying that, they were wanting to put him at receiver and shit like that, and he wanted to play quarterback. There isn't any reason for Trey to not do that, especially because I kind of think that if I have to pick who runs the best 40 time of the big four, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, no.
Zach Wilson, bro.
No. Yeah, I promise you.
I got 5 on it.
I got 10 on it, bro. I'm telling you.
The only reason you're saying that is because your horse is scared to run the race.
No, well, no, okay. I still
said he's scared. He said, I'm scared to run the 40. I bet you
hey, look, I'm not saying I don't believe
blew that shit.
I'm not saying I don't believe CK. I'm sure he saw what he saw. I'm just saying I have not seen that, and I haven't read anything to verify that. You may very well be correct. And in that case, I have no idea why Trey Lance wouldn't run a 40.
It's not going to help him, right?
No, yes, it is, man. Yes, it is.
NFL.com. Trey Lance won't be 40 at Pro Day.
Damn. All right. Hey, man.
If I don't understand, smashing it would help him, right? Running it and smashing it would help him, correct? Like if he ran a 4-4 or some shit like that, or a 4-5. Like that would help his stock. But if he ran a 4-6,
that would hurt.
It just destroy him.
It's so funny how 1/10 of a second
on their point. It's kind of, you know what? Maybe they understand. Maybe they understand this homie's getting drafted in the top 10 no matter what.
Probably.
And the only thing that could knock him out of the top 10 is having a 40 day. Or no, just having a bad day. Like he almost shouldn't do anything. He should just be like, see my 1 year of tape when I was 12.
But you can't. You can't. If you're Trey Lance, you can't not do anything, because even Trevor Lawrence, guaranteed number 1 in the draft, right? He still did his own pro day, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, Joe Burrow didn't do a combine. I know that wasn't different from the pro day, but he didn't do that because he knew he was going to be number one. If this year, if the number one, almost guaranteed number one draft pick did it, then I mean,
well, but Trevor didn't run a 40 though. He did do it. He did do a pro day. He did all the throws, but he didn't do the 40. He didn't do the 3-cone. He didn't do a lot of the stuff that he would normally do. So maybe Trey Lance just feels like
nobody's going to do it. Why should I have to?
And also, I kind of think, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it's 40 time. Like, unless what Tony said, unless he ran like a 4.40 or something like that, then I don't. And you really have to put in.
Hurt him.
You gotta remember, you have to put in a ton of time to train, man.
Yeah.
I mean, training for the 40 time, trying to run your fastest on the day. Like,
well, there's an art to it as well. Yeah,
there's a real art to it. And instead of wasting time training that, you're training to and be impressive making throws.
Yeah.
What about that?
I hate the idea.
Did you see that Daniel Jeremiah tweet from it's probably a week ago about how like the 40 at the combine will be obsolete?
Yeah, thing of the past. I believe it.
Because we can just track them on video and calculate how fast they impact.
Analytics are just advancing in such a incredible way. There's no point. Yeah.
And my question is, why aren't we there now? Like, why the fuck can they not do that already?
Because I think they probably can.
Up until the pandemic, the combine is, I mean, the only reason people watch the combine is to see the 40-yard dash. Like, that's one of the biggest events that there is at the combine. That's what everyone tunes in.
The combine is not really a big event for the NFL.
It's better than the offseason that they would normally have where they don't have any coverage.
It is an event, but that doesn't mean that we can't just have a nerd on a computer that says that guy ran 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But also seeing is believing too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there are some people that run faster in their underwear and the Speedos than they do on film. And I think that's mainly what
like TK said, there's an art to it. It's not just, it's about getting off the line right. It's like this, like position and this and that. I did, before we go to the next call, I want to say this. As we've talked about these teams and these quarterbacks, and we've talked about them relentlessly and usually not nicely. But I have a problem with a certain person on Twitter, and they don't have a name. I don't know their tag or anything. They're not a real person. But it's the person that says this, is that Teddy's a good guy, but he's not a good quarterback. Why do they feel like they can make a comment about him being a good dude? Why does everybody have to quantify any criticism about Teddy Bridgewater with he's a good dude? How do we know that? And I'm not saying he's not a good dude, but he's like, you're like, oh, he's a good dude. Did you say that about Taylor Heineke? Did you say that about Kyle Allen? Oh, he's a good dude.
No, you know one thing I know about nice guys. One thing I know about nice guys. They fucking finished last, bro. Just like Teddy Bridgewater did this year.
Just like Cam Newton told us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I don't know who I've heard say this, but it's like, listen, do you want football players or do you want Boy Scouts? Like, do you want some dogs that are going to go out there and whoop ass on the football field and put on for their team and their city and the fans? Or, do you want someone who's really nice and good in the community? Like, yeah, listen, we all love a nice guy doing stuff in the community.
Is he even nice? How about this? We thought Stephen Weatherly. We thought Stephen Weatherly was good. What is the news come out and said? He's he got paid $12 million. He was like, I got $6 million today. Like, I'm good. Why do we think these people are nice? You all thought Cam Newton was a dick. That's what you thought, right? Because on face value, something told you that Cam Newton was a dick, but something on face value tells you that Teddy Bridgewater's a nice guy, or that like it's just bullshit. That's what I say. Teddy Bridgewater. We don't know if he's good or bad. That's it.
And here's the thing too: is it's not even a matter of asking if he's good or bad. It's why does that matter? I'm a nice guy. I don't need to be the quarterback of the Panthers. Like, what does that have to do with it? It like it's really cool if you get a nice guy, but I'll take a total dickhead who will win a Super Bowl for me. You know, personality doesn't matter. I want somebody who's going to win football games.
They called. I just feel like our whole society makes predetermined judgments, and despite what the evidence says, we're going to stick by it. So I thought, like, I'm not saying Teddy Bridgewater's not a nice dude. I haven't seen any evidence that he's a mean dude. At the same time, I'm not just like really confident that I would write a fucking letter of recommendation for him as a person.
Yeah.
Like, why all of a sudden do you quantify him as a good dude, and then other people are like, Cam's a dick?
Because he drives the minivan and he writes children's books.
And they're all kind of weird on their own.
Because he's not loud.
No, I don't buy it.
Because he's not loud. That's why. Because he doesn't make a ruckus. Like when you see, not saying he doesn't. Nobody looks at Teddy Bridgewater and is like, oh, did you see what Teddy did today? Nobody cares about him.
Nobody's talking about the Panthers with Teddy Bridgewater on the team.
I know,
right?
Only people talking about Teddy Bridgewater, and we fucking hate him.
Why would you ever trust a man, a grown ass man, who makes millions of dollars and chooses to drive a fucking minivan, bro? I'm sorry, dude. Dude, that gives me creepy ass vibes. Dude, I'm not a fan. Yeah, no one's a fan, man. It's like what Josh Hoy said. It's going to be hard for him to come and make the trip from Massachusetts down to Charlotte for a Teddy Bridgewater-led Carolina Panthers team. And it's not just his play, it's his actions. And that's another thing. And I'll make sure I say it every single time. It's Teddy Bridgewater's own actions on top of his play. Throwing teammates under the bus, pretending that he has some entitlement to be here and be our, entrenched starter at the quarterback position. We're going to talk about Stephen Weatherly here in a second. I wouldn't doubt it if after that contract, Bridgewater had the same mindset. Just phoned it in.
No. But, and this is going to make Greg happy, does any of this, Stephen Weatherly, Teddy Bridgewater, any of that fall back on coaching? The fact that these guys were able to get complacent with a new coach that was supposed to be able to motivate these guys to be better people.
I wasn't even going to go there. That's a good point, though.
I mean, the reality of it is, these guys are supposed to motivate these people. When you have a guy coming out publicly saying he got complacent, I'll be honest, I think that that's a lot to save face so that he can try to sign somewhere else and people think that it was just a fluke year, that he wasn't putting the effort in that he should have put in. And I think that that's probably just something that he uses as a way to maybe, like, it might be just an excuse to make other people not look at him as a bad football player, but maybe just somebody who needed motivation. But it does not look good for Matt Rule when you have a player coming out saying they weren't motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. So I feel like Stephen Weatherly was first addition to, like, I don't know if you could really pin him to Matt Rule.
No. You can't pin him to the signing to Matt Rule, but you can pin him.
Right. I understand. Like, I'm trying to say, like, he is attached. Like, right. Does that tell us something about Matt Rule and how he learns how to navigate with veterans and guys that just got paid and some different things? But when it comes to Teddy Bridgewater, I thought this was interesting. Jake Delhomme came out in a recent interview and said this, and I got it. And look, I guess you guys are going to believe Delhomme more than me because he's a quarterback in the NFL. He does work for the team, though.
Yeah.
We'll find out. But he said this. He was talking about Teddy Bridgewater, and he said, I just think from watching Teddy and watching the quarterback play, because I've fallen into that trap many times, sometimes you try to do too much, and it comes back to bite you. I just think that Teddy was trying to do too much, and I just think it became pressing. And I watched all those games, just like I watched every one of Jake Delhone's games. And I didn't see a guy who was doing too much. I didn't see a guy who was trying to force this and that. I saw a guy that had physical limitations that couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
And those physical limitations crept into his head. And he's convinced more than anybody he can't make those throws. They don't even try. I was watching this this Panthers highlight from 2 years ago, and I was thinking about Greg the whole time. And it was because you said that Teddy Bridgewater and Kyle Allen are the same dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and I just saw this Twitter clip. It was just a clip, and it was DJ Moore snatching this ball and running off into the sunset. And it was just this guy who just gunslung it into man-on-man coverage. Like they hiked the ball. He saw exactly it was man-on-man, and he just threw it. He trusted his arm. I was like, that can't be Teddy.
It was Kyle Allen.
Yeah, it was Kyle Allen.
Huh?
It was fucking Kyle Allen. And so I think this is that, like, I don't know if it's to go back to your coaching question. I don't know. Teddy is infuriating at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
It's an infuriating situation. And I just don't, as we watched it, if you can look at that tape and tell me that you think he is one of the best players on the field, you are a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with that.
Harsh, but you don't look at that and go, just because he can manipulate the play calling. What did he say every time last year? See, Cody, he said this is that like anything went wrong, and he was like, "I was trying to audible." What do you want to do?
Yeah, he was always blaming it on
the coverage here,
or they didn't get the play in time, or they had it as a throw and he would check out of the throw.
Oh, I wish we would have ran it.
Yeah,
I wish we would have ran it. I wish we would have ran it.
That's what all my quarterback's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I don't think I've ever heard a quarterback make that complaint.
Yeah,
Right.
he was so
Have you
lame.
ever heard that shit?
Never,
No.
never. That's so
Every elite quarterback wants the ball in their own hands.
Right.
Let's be honest about it, guys.
right.
It's like having Terrell. Like, I do think that the NFL needs to recheck themselves when it comes to Terrell Owens, when it comes to the Hall of Fame, because this guy's like one of the best receivers of, I mean, not one of the best. He is one of the best of all time, Terrell. But he was always like that. That's what it was like. He was like this, and he was adamant about it. He's like, "Give me the fucking ball."
Didn't he
And
go
when
in last year?
the day I don't ask for the ball is the day you kick me in the nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw that quarterback who was scared to make throws in 2011 or 2010, and that was Jimmy Clausen. I saw that same quarterback in Chris Winkie. I want a quarterback that has the Teddy B D, but has a bigger D attitude. The number 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call.
Hold on. I
Is this
almost
part
forgot.
3?
This is Josh from Mass again.
Side C.
Y'all bunch of swindling, two-timing mugs. Not 1 week, but 2 weeks in a row. Y'all gave me the cold shoulder. Damn, missing out on my call. This is my ice up. I'm gonna ice up the entire C3 podcast.
It's just me.
He's the audio engineer over there.
All right, next call. I'm icing you up. Next call.
Yeah, this is Chad, first-time caller, long-time listener.
Oh, whoa,
I was
whoa,
thinking,
whoa, we gotta bring you back. I think his name is Chad, and he is my man. What's up?
Hold on.
No.
That's Josh.
Yeah, this is Chad, first-time caller, long-time listener. I was thinking this year with the draft, I think the approach I would prefer as a Panthers fan is to at 8, depending on who's there, if the top 3 quarterbacks are gone and we still have Trey Lance there, or I would look to trade back. I would see if San Francisco's interested. We could trade back to the 12th pick. and acquire more assets. And the reason I say that is looking at the formula we used in 2015, we are short the superstar quarterback, but maybe this is a year, we don't get the quarterback, but we keep building through the draft. That 2015 team had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 first round picks in the starting lineup. We're nowhere near that right now. So I think what would serve us best is to fill a hole, take the top defensive back at 12, who's left, or top offensive lineman, left tackle if there's one there. Guys like Slater who could drop, or even the top defensive back, J.C. Horn, who could be there. Maybe even look at if Micah Parsons drops, Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley. Just get the top talent, best player available, plug another hole. We saw with the 2015 team sort of that formula, which is you got to have stars at every level. You got to have. We had Michael Orr at left tackle, I think.
Hold on. I'm gonna pause this call.
You got to have some offensive.
We're gonna finish the call, but what in that 2015 team really truly told us we had to have stars in every level? Let's talk about this team really quickly.
Not stars. I mean, okay, we had a few stars. We had specifically on defense.
No, I want to hear him. I would love to hear it. All right,
we had a height of their careers, KG Short, Star Latulele. We had Charles Johnson playing the best ball he's ever played. Mm-hmm. We had Jonathan Stewart playing the best running back season he's ever played.
Whoa.
I don't know if it was the best season for Johnson. It was a good season.
Go back and look. It was statistically, it was one of his best.
It may have been.
He was making a comeback. Yeah. But on defense, we had KK.
We had KK, Luke, Josh Norman.
We had a defense. But all right, so we had a 5th round pick or whatever in Josh Norman, who had a superstar year.
Yep.
But then I don't know if we were as star-studded.
Ron Harper.
We have Roman Harper.
We had Roman Harper. We had
well
we did get Charles Tillman played fantastic, right?
Yeah.
These kind of good. Our defense was this kind of gritty veteran.
Yeah.
Good.
Are you just talking on defense?
No, but then we flip it to offense. Come on.
We had multiple
Pro Bowlers on offense.
You got to keep in mind, we had multiple Pro Bowlers.
Even been playing. Michael Orr was cut the year before, whatever.
But he had a great year that year.
We had Jonathan Stewart, who was aged. We had Corey Brown. We have Philly Brown. We had Jericho.
Hey, Philly Brown made some plays now. Come on now.
Come on, we didn't have stars.
He wasn't a star.
Wide receiver was the only position we didn't have stars.
Yeah, the wide receiver, you look at our linebacking core, we had the best linebacking duo in the league. We had one of the best defensive lines in the league. Our secondary was on point. If you look at what we had a lot of people that were Pro Bowlers before that season began, right? We acquired Jared Allen later in the year, but we got Jared Allen. We had Charles Johnson. We had all of these people that were Pro Bowlers prior to that year. That were there. So, we had a lot of stars. The issue was they weren't a lot of them that were on offense, right? And that's where I think that I would agree with Tony is offensively, we didn't. Defensively, we absolutely were star-studded.
Even our defense, though, just because it played well that year doesn't mean that at the time, look, Peanut Tillman was on the back end of his career.
Yeah, you're right.
Jared
Allen was too. He retired.
We brought him in a trade. Our defense was good, but it was not 2013 good.
No, certainly not.
We came out of nowhere. No one expected.
That was the thing. The 2015 defense scored touchdowns, bro. Oh, we forgot another one. How about this? It's star. Nope. Kurt Coleman. Remember, you know what you want to learn about Kurt Coleman's star.
But again,
the Eagles game where he was an Eagle and he gets walloped in the face. Who the fuck did that to him, and the blood coming out and this and that. It's a great video. Just YouTube Kurt Coleman knows.
Here's the thing. I understand the point that you're trying to make. One of the points that I will make is that some of those players that aren't stars played like stars that year.
That year.
So listen, I'll even mention this. Andrew Norwell, Matt Khalil, and Trey Turner, regardless of whatever you think about any of those names now, they played the best football they've ever played in their life in 2015.
Until the Super Bowl.
And that allowed Cam Newton to be the biggest superstar that
Mike
the
Rivers
Panthers
even
have ever had. I don't care what anyone says. If you want to, like, well, I'm not trying to start a whole nother argument here. There's never been a bigger superstar than Cam Newton, and all of those pieces around Cam at that time, like Greg Olsen, like Matt Khalil. Not Matt Khalil, Ryan Khalil, and that interior, man, like that did everything for a football team. So even though they may not all be stars, they played at a star level that season.
All right, let's finish this call.
Linemen that are great. We had Trey Turner, Khalil, Michael Ower that year. We had great quarterback, which we maybe can get next year. But the other thing is that quarterbacks are available every year. I don't think last year at this time we would have predicted that Watson might hit the trade market or Wilson or even Wentz.
Certainly
some
not.
of the trade market. So maybe a year from now, there's another group, and then we could go all in. I don't think we're in a position this year to make a move without crippling the roster. I think the move to make it 8 is to trade back if we get a good partner, accumulate a few more picks, take best player available at 12 or 13 or wherever we fall back, continue to build the roster and get a quarterback later. That's my 2 cents. Appreciate the podcast, guys.
Thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, great call.
All right, next call.
Hey, what's up, C3 Podcast? It's friend DMC Lovato. I have
Tyler?
out, so it's going to take multiple calls. So this is going to be the first call. So I'm going to talk about team building and how I think the Panthers have done a horrible job so far in this rebuild, and I think we're rushing this rebuild. So in a rebuild, we're going to go by positions of importance first. So quarterback number 1, and offensive line. Protect your quarterback, okay? And then defensive line. You want to attack their quarterback, right? So, and nothing honestly matters until you get your quarterback. Like, if you cannot go and sign free, there's no point in signing free agents to big money contracts. There's no point to building the roster up without the quarterback. You're going to end up in a purgatory state where your roster's going to be too good for its own good. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
This year,
good point.
We have to draft the quarterback. Otherwise, we have to trade back. That's the only 2 options in my opinion. If we can't get the quarterback, if we can't trade up, or we can't get one at 8, we must trade back and invest in the future. Because this year's a wash. If we don't get the quarterback, this year's a wash. We have no chance at the Super Bowl. Even if we get a quarterback this year, there's still no chance at the Super Bowl. But there is, hope, and that's when you start the roster building. Once you get the quarterback, you start building the roster. So we need the offensive line. We need the defensive line. We started investing in defensive line. We had Brian Burns. We had Derek Brown. Gross Matos, I don't know. But the offensive line is horrible. And we need the quarterback first. We need to get the quarterback so all these other investments aren't for nothing. So if we can't get a quarterback this year, I say we trade back to the late first round, get it first next year. You need to get stuff for next year, so next year you can trade up to get a quarterback. And also get rid of people that aren't going to contribute for the rebuild. You have a Super Bowl window within 5 years. And in those 5 years on the rookie contract with the quarterback, that's when you build the roster around him. That's the time to do it. So I say we trade back with like Green Bay to like 27 or whatever, get a future first. Maybe next year will be horrible, and we can get a quarterback. If we don't have, if we're not in range, we trade up for him because we'll have an extra first. Like the Jets have done. They have 2 firsts this year. The Dolphins have 3 first. Like we need to stock up on picks for the future if we can't get a quarterback this year. Otherwise, it's all for nothing. What's the point of taking a Patrick Surtain if you don't have a quarterback, there's no point in that. There's no point in taking a tight end. There's no point in honestly picking an offensive lineman there. You need to get a quarterback first. That's the first.
I agree with almost everything that Tyler said, man. And I think Greg had a question around this that he wanted to pose to us too. But yeah, I mean, it's still so early to tell. But this is what I've been trying to say to all the trade backers. Like, if you trade back to all the trade backers, if you trade back and you end up getting all these players, Tyler actually made a good point. You risk being too good for your own good. Like, you put yourself in a position where you're not quite good enough to make a Super Bowl. Maybe you can sneak into a wild card spot, but you don't have the quarterback.
Rookies would do that. No.
Dude, the Washington football team did it this year. They snuck into the playoffs. Did they have any right to be there? That's what I'm talking about.
They were in a division where no one won. It's like, it's not real. Like, that's not a real thing. Is that this will never. The only thing that made that happen is that Ron Rivera has done it twice. Ron Rivera is the only coach in the history of the world that's been to the playoffs with losing records twice.
So we've seen it happen. It could happen again.
No, it can't happen.
I've seen it happen 3 times in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to be too good to have a top 10 pick.
Guard yourself into the playoffs, I mean.
But you're not just talking about one pick. You're talking about an entire draft that doesn't include the quarterback, that bolsters your roster, but still doesn't get you the quarterback that you need to put you over the edge. Like that's the main point. Like, I don't
get that much better with rookies. I don't believe it. All right, let's go to the next. Look, he's got more to say, bro. He's got more to say.
Hey, it's Run BNC Lovato. This is call number 2. Please go listen to the first call before you listen to this call, or you're going to be lost. All right, so team building.
He knows you, Tony.
You have to get the quarterback, offensive line, and defensive line set. That's how you win a Super Bowl, okay? So once you get all that, that's when everything else, when you pay players, that's all extra. That's like icing on the damn cake, okay? A cornerback is icing on the cake. A linebacker is icing on the cake. But what you do not do in a rebuild is when you don't even have a quarterback, pay an outside linebacker high money when he's not even, honestly, he never even proved that he was worth the money. And even if he was worth the money, there's no point in having a Shaq Thompson when you're in a rebuild mode. There's no point in that. That's not a position of need. That's not a high position of value.
Yeah.
You want to get positions of value for the future, not in a rebuild. You get a guy like a Shaq Thompson when you're a Green Bay Packers team, when you're ready to win now. That's when you overpay players at positions that are not that valuable. You don't pay players that are not in a position of value if you're rebuilding. It's not how it works. You need to get the trenches set, both of the trenches set. You find the quarterback first. You tank, you fucking lose games. Who gives a shit? You're not going to win shit regardless. You have to get the fucking quarterback. You have to get the fucking trenches set. Then everything else is icing on the fucking cake. You don't pay a fucking outside linebacker money. We're not going to pay Curtis Samuel. There's no fucking point. He's going to be catching balls from Teddy Bridgewater next year if we don't get a fucking quarterback. You fucking find the quarterback. Then all these other positions are icing on the fucking cake. And Jeremy Chin, he's fucking elite. He might have a Hall of Fame career. Not a high position of value, but he might be worth. He might be an exception to that rule. But a Brian Burns is someone that you will pay because he's a fucking. He has a high position of value and he's fucking elite. You pay that even if you're in a rebuild. You pay defensive linemen and offensive linemen in a rebuild. You don't pay fucking outside linebackers. You don't pay cornerbacks. There's no point in having a fucking shutdown corner if you have fucking Teddy Bridgewater out there. There's no point in any of this shit. So that's my point. Like, this rebuild has been horrific. Like, who the fuck pays Shaq Thompson top dollar when you're in a fucking rebuild? You have no quarterback. You have no offensive line. The defense was horrible last year. Like, even before the draft, we didn't know. Our defense looked horrible on paper, and we still paid Shaq. What was the point of that? You might as well just free your cap space, free your contract, and plan for the future. Be the worst team you can be this year. Tank for fucking the best quarterback in the draft. get that quarterback, build the trenches. After that, you can fucking pay people that are not in positions of value. That's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Look, Tyler, man, you've kind of summed up everything I've been saying for, a few weeks now. Again, the whole tanking thing is controversial in and of itself because, people will think that you're saying the players should go out there and intentionally lose and that the coaches should call bad plays. And that's never, in my opinion, what you're talking about when you talk tanking. But also to your point, we've signed a bunch of bad contracts, and Marty Herney should have been fired way sooner than he was, and that's why these things started to happen to us, man. Overpaying Shaq Thompson, Stephen Weatherly paying all that money for Teddy Bridgewater. It's just egregious now. And looking back on it, we know how many bad moves were made. But that said, yeah, look, I've been saying forever that we have to get a quarterback in this draft, and I don't mind moving up for it. Everybody wants to trade back. I'm telling you, having a franchise quarterback on your roster for cheap for 5 years, dude, those first-round picks, they come and go. If you have a quarterback that your football staff is in love with, that your coaches love, that the owner loves, you have to take a chance, man. You have to go up and get them. That's what the Chiefs did for Mahomes. That's what the Bills did for Josh Allen. You have to do that sometime. And the Panthers are in a position where it's looking like we're probably going to have to do that.
Yeah, the only thing to Tyler's credit, though, with those exact examples is they already had a team outside of maybe a few pieces, right? The Chiefs were already the Chiefs. They were still going to the playoffs pretty much every year with Alex Smith. They just weren't making it to the Super Bowl, right? And then they got their quarterback, and all of a sudden, guess what? Now they were a Super Bowl contender. They built their team first, and then they were able to go and pay everybody and then have a quarterback that wasn't just destroying the cap. We'll see what happens now that, Mahomes is making the money he's going to be making, because I think that's going to impact the way that team's going to look. But I agree. I think there's a certain level that I don't think anybody's wrong, right? You can pull examples of every single person, every single type, people who have built a team first and then succeeded because they already had a team there. You can see a team that built their team around their quarterback and they succeeded. I mean, there's examples everywhere. There is not one that's going to be a surefire way that's going to succeed. And one has not been proven more likely to succeed than another. In my opinion, based on what I've seen with teams in my history. I just think it's a matter of philosophically what's going to happen and your coaching and whether or not you're able to draft well. I don't hate the idea of trading back. I think once we start getting closer to this draft and we start realizing getting a Deshaun Watson, getting a Russell Wilson even, might be out of the question, and knowing where we're drafting, I don't think anybody that's in a position to trade with us is going to trade back to us. So I think trading back is not a bad option, but I also think that's something that we Panthers fans fantasize way too much about when we realize just we're not getting what we want out of the draft, which is a quarterback that's an elite quarterback.
If we don't pick Trey Lance at 8, right? Say I won't. It's one thing if we don't have a quarterback to pick from.
Yeah.
Right. Say there's 4 quarterbacks that go in the top 6. Right. Then okay. Well, the Panthers missed, so you don't really know what to think about their pick. Right. Yeah. They pick Patrick Surtain. They pick who's the Micah Parsons. They pick, and you go, oh well, they missed their quarterback, so they've had to pick this. Or they trade back, this and that. But the scary part to me is Trey Lance being on the board.
Mm-hmm. And that's not taking
is Justin Fields being on the board, and we pick Micah Parsons. Or give me a tackle. I don't know, like whatever the name is. Mm-hmm. So I'm a fan of trading back, because if we can't get the guy, which is the guy at quarterback, really, who's really going to help us that much? I'd rather stockpile at that point.
Well, can I pose my scenario? Because it's eerily similar to that, and I actually have some stuff. Okay, so the same situation. The quarterbacks are gone. We don't have the option of drafting a quarterback. In my scenario, you don't have the option of trading back. Who is the guy you draft? And I have
Who are the tackles, Cody? I mean, it's got to be a tackle, man. If we don't draft a left tackle there, if we draft a linebacker and we don't get a tackle, I'm gonna kill myself again.
Can I throw somebody out there that I've been researching?
Yeah, sure. So throw your guy out there, and then do you have a video?
I do have a video.
Yeah,
I'll play the video while I.
We're gonna show.
Let me share.
I might have to add it.
Share screen.
Learning. Streamlabs. The StreamYard. It's not even Streamlabs.
All right, hit share that.
All right, I got you.
All right, so my guy that I'm going to say, the guy that I'm picking is Kyle Pitts. I know this sounds crazy picking a tight end at 8, Tony. I know you don't like the idea of a tight end at 8, but listen to me, man. This guy is 6'6", 246. He's like 15 pounds lighter than Gronk. This guy is amazing. Absolutely amazing. This is a Rob Gronkowski style type player right here. I wouldn't say his blocking is as good, but blocking you can be taught, with good coaching. And when you're 6'6", 250, that's a good size to be for a tight end. This guy won the John Mackey Award for the nation's top tight end. He had 11 touchdowns, which put him number 4 in the entire FBS for receptions and touchdowns among receivers and everybody else. He only had 43 receptions, 770 yards, and 12 touchdowns this year. 12 touchdowns this year, but he only played 7.5 games. So that's a pretty damn good number with 7.5 games. He was unanimous first-team All-American. He was a semi finalist for the Blitnikoff Award, and he was top 10 in Heisman voting, which hadn't happened for a tight end in 43 years. This guy's legit, man. And the best thing about a tight end that can receive like this, if you don't have the quarterback and we have to go with Teddy Bridgewater, if you look at these highlights, he can catch some balls that are not thrown in the greatest positions. Like he has the hands to do it. Big guy, and that's good for blocking too. Like it's a dual purpose type thing. So I would say, me personally, and once again, I was a big OJ Howard guy a few years ago too. I think a tight end is a very important position to have in football. Generally, teams that are really good have that position locked up. When we've had good tight ends, we've played really well. I think the tight end is the way we should go right here. If you have this guy, who I think is a Rob Gronkowski level player, is who you should get. I mean, lock him up for the next 10 years in that position.
10 years?
I'm not saying give him a contract for 10 years. You can draft him now and keep him. Yeah.
So, man, so many things. But one, you made Brad Dugan very happy.
No. The answer is fucking no.
You've made Brad Dugan our resident Florida Gator fan. You've made
this
him
guy's
very
legit,
happy.
Man. I'm telling you.
Listen, man, my only thing is this, dude. He is legitimately one of the best receivers in this class.
Yeah.
I mean, look. I mean, you're seeing the highlights. I mean, when the ball is in the air, this dude goes up and gets it. And to be frank, he has a better frame than any of the receivers coming out in this class. He's bigger than Jamar Chase. He's bigger than Devonta Smith. I mean, he might run a low 4.5 or even in the 4.4s. My problem with him is what he's classified as. If you're a tight end and I can't leave you in on third down to pass protect, then you're not a tight end anymore. Because then when the defense knows that you're on the field, they know that they have to game plan for you being on the field. I'm not saying that doesn't help out your offense, but man, out of all the film I've watched on him, he doesn't block very much.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's his biggest issue with blocking? Is it because of the scheme, or is it his inability to block?
I think it's technique.
Well, he's just not okay.
No, he's a receiver. Look at every one of these plays.
Let me make a different comparison.
The tight end.
Let me make a
call
different.
him a tight end. They give him a tight end number, but he's running a fucking wide receiver.
But you see how nimble he is, man. The dude can move. No one is denying his agility. My only gripe is that I think he is probably better suited in the NFL to be a receiver. If I can make a different comparison,
enough, dude. Look at this.
I would if I could make a different comparison, I would say, instead of Gronk, more Darren Waller for the for
Raiders.
for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And by the way, Darren Waller is a freak athlete at the position. Like the dude is a beast. Again, my problem is not with him. It's him being a tight end, because if you're not versatile like a Kittle, like a Kelsey, like a Gronk, then it kind of limits what your offense can do.
He looks like a wide receiver, homie. Look
Cody,
at that.
so my
He
question,
looks like a wide receiver.
Cody, are you upset with that pick if the Panthers were to take Kyle Pitts at number 8?
Now,
Mark,
that would be the scenario where everybody who wants to trade back, if we were able to trade back for Kyle Pitts, then I think I'd be interested. You see all these mock drafts to have Kyle going in like the top 10. That's very rich for me, and I just don't see I just don't see him being a top 10 pick. I could be wrong, just because he's such a freak athlete that people might just want him anyway. But yeah, his lack of physicality at the position, it's hard for me to put you in the top 10.
Unless you can be the most dominant person at the skill position, you should not be
drafted in the top 10.
Yes. And maybe I'll give you all right, so we'll give you linebacker, maybe, because there's a couple of people that have been transcendent, like Levante David, who was a 3rd round pick, or Luke Kuechly, or Thomas Davis. I mean, we go down this list. No, I feel like this. The top 10 should be for wide receivers. Are you going to call him a wide receiver?
He's a receiver. I mean, it's good to have a great receiver,
Yeah, I tell you what, to be on Greg's side a little bit, he is definitely the kind of body type that we have been missing in our offensive backfield for a long time. But let me show you my answer.
Ian Thomas lovers that.
Who?
Ian Thomas.
Ian Thomas lovers. I don't think you're going to have many.
Whatever Ian Thomas lovers there were, they're not here anymore. Do me a favor, put up that video that I just shared, because I'm going to show you my pick. And this might be a little controversial. I already put this out on Twitter, but you are looking at this man right here on the bottom of your
Slater.
screen. That is Rashawn Slater. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my number 1 offensive tackle of the 2021 draft class. The guy that you're going to see him go up against for the majority of this game is none other than Chase Young. Chase Young, during this game, was not able to get a single pressure off on Rashawn Slater. Now, he's off to the left side right here. He's on the bottom of your screen. And look, he's just a powerful big man. He is able to move you out of your stance and just bully people. They weighed in today 307 pounds, 6'4", and his feet are so nimble. When you see him move to the second level, I mean, that is what the modern offense, look right there, blocking on the second level, maintaining the block long enough for your running back to be able to find some space and work upfield.
I mean, it's a hold. It's a hold.
And he is working the entire way. His placement, dude, all offensive linemen are holding to some degree.
I know.
He almost made that catch, Greg.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. But he is an incredible football player, incredibly powerful. He's a big man. His feet are nimble. They call him a dancing bear. Whenever you're a big guy, 300 plus pounds, and you have nimble feet and you move well. Look, that's Chase Young right there. I'll rewind that one more time. Check this out. Bottom of your screen, or it's the next play right here. This is that, again, second level beast mode blocking. But this is him on Chase Young.
Is he white?
No, I think he looks like he's mixed.
Yeah, probably a little mixed. But they're just powerful, nimble. Put Chase Young in the dirt right there. I mean, come on. That is special stuff. Again, I wouldn't even trade down. I mean, if Rashawn Slater is there and Trey Lance is gone, Wilson is gone, Fields is gone, yeah, man. I mean, we need a left tackle anyway. So if everyone wants to push the quarterback thing down the road, why not have a dominant left tackle to book in Taylor Moton?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Honestly, that kind of gets me excited, to think about us getting a left tackle that could be a game changer. Like, there's too many teams that have a great left tackle, and you realize just what that means to a squad.
Mm-hmm.
It can be the difference between just an incredible. I mean, just again, let's look at people like even if you want to take a look at the Buffalo Bills, right? You see these guys. I mean, they have a fantastic one good. Let's look at the Panthers, 2015, right? You protect the quarterback that's an elite squad level quarterback, lights out. You're not gonna beat that team 9 times out of 10. Again, it excites me the idea of getting a left tackle.
Let's go ahead and let me caution you a little bit here. Is that if we truly reflect back to that 2015 team, I remember 2 tackles getting blown the fuck up in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
like crazy. Look, I was happy with Michael Orr's play. Rimmers, I always said this. Go back and check the tape, homies. Go check the tape. It's there. You can go listen to every C3 Panthers podcast since 2013. I always said this about Rimmers. Is that homie plays great for about 12 games and then hits a wall, man. Hey, in week 12, this poor guy gets tired. So, and it happened in that Super Bowl year. When it comes to this Rashawn Slater, interestingly, his name is on the Carolina Panthers website right now. Darren Gant put out a story today that says Rashawn Slater thinks he's the best tackle in the draft. So, hey.
I would agree with him. Daniel Jeremiah has also said that this is his number one offensive tackle. And normally, I don't ever just hook on to what someone else says, even Daniel Jeremiah. But I heard that, and then I watched the film, and I watched way more than just Ohio State. The man is a beast. I mean, everything is top level. His hand placement is really good. His feet are nimble and agile. He's a powerful man. He's fast. He's the type of tackle that will block for you all the way downfield. And he will continue to drive men into the dirt to run block for his quarterback or running back. So, again, like I'm in this position watching all these players, knowing that we need a quarterback. Man, there are so many non-quarterback players I would love to draft that would fit so good on this team.
Yeah.
Caleb, I keep on forgetting his name. I want to say Caleb Farley, but that's not his name. The kid from Virginia, he's incredible. The cornerback. Awesome player. There's a bunch of good guys that we could really use right now. But again, this quarterback conversation, it's going to haunt us until we know what we're going to do at the position.
But here I was going to honestly, those were both my when you wanted me to do this, those are the 2 people I picked one just in case one of you guys picked them. And then the other one you picked. So both of those were. So
man. Talk about him a little bit. Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, that was going to be the Kyle Pitts was going to be the one that I was thinking about, just because, when you see, he's just such a dominant player. I wouldn't be upset if we got him at 8, but I definitely. You said you were going to bring 2, right, Cody? What was your second one?
Caleb.
Was that guy?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll have it in a second.
I didn't want to pick him because I'm about 45 minutes away from Virginia Tech, and I hate Virginia Tech. So
okay, Caleb Farley, by the way, who is he probably, it's kind of like the conversation I had last year with Derek Brown and Javon Kinlaw at defensive tackle. Derek Brown was a more a ready to win right now player, plug and play kind of player. And I felt like Javon Kinlaw might have physically had more upside. I feel the same way in this class for the corners between Caleb and Patrick Surtain. I think Patrick Surtain is a better cornerback right now, but I think Caleb has a ridiculously high ceiling. I mean, this guy is shot out of a hornet's nest. I mean, He's a really good football player. Would love to have him.
All right. Can we power through the next call?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Run DMC Lovato, call number 3. If you didn't listen to the other calls before, please listen to those calls before you listen to this one. This is my last call.
Liar.
So
He's
this one's gonna be
lying.
about the
He's
draft and how there's really only 2 fucking things that make sense in this rebuild. We are rushing this fucking rebuild. If we don't get a quarterback, we're rushing this rebuild if we pick at 8. Like, you have to trade back, get picks for the future. We should have fucking traded Curtis Samuel. We should have fucking traded pieces that aren't going to be here for the rebuild.
Yeah.
You don't pay veterans on a fucking rebuilding team. You don't pay Shaq Thompson and position that's not a need, regardless. So there's no point in picking at 8 at all if there's no quarterback there. I say we should trade up for one. 3 first-round picks, fuck it. Get Zach Wilson at number 2. Whatever it takes. You need the fucking quarterback and everything else will fucking fall in place. You know what you need to build after that. So, say there's no quarterback left at 8. No point in picking an offensive lineman there either. Trade back all. I would trade all the fucking picks back. I'm not going to lie. I would trade back 6 times in this fucking draft. Get a shit ton of picks for next year. Trade fucking players that aren't going to be. There's no point in having players this year. We're going to be shit if we trade back a lot. We're not going to have good players. So trade fucking anybody you fucking can. Honestly, trade McCaffrey. Trade fucking
Shaq Thompson.
Trade people, man. Just fucking get rid of people. Get rid of these. We don't really have a lot to fucking trade. I'm not gonna lie. DJ Moore, I have a quarterback, and his contract year's up. You might have to trade his ass. I love DJ Moore though, but we need future picks. We need future investments. If we do not get a quarterback in this year's draft, we have to get a quarterback one way or another. It's time to fucking invest long term instead of trying to get a short rebuild. That's why I think the Deshaun Watson trade would be not good for us, because we would have to give up so much fucking revenue and picks, and we'd have nothing to surround him with for the future. Honestly, we'd have to give up McCaffrey. Probably we'd have to give up like 3 or 4 first round picks. We might have to give up even more players. Brian Burns and fucking knows.
Okay.
We need to just get a young QB on a rookie contract and 2 first round picks next year. What we might have if we trade back, that might be enough to trade up to get the first pick, or maybe we'll be the worst team in the league if we trade a bunch of our good players. That's how we need to play for the long haul. This rebuild is getting ridiculous. We need to stop being so short term and invest. The Jacksonville Jaguars did it perfect this year. I wish we were them right now. We should have fucking lost to Washington. Fuck Ron Rivera. And if we don't get a quarterback this year, and if we don't.
Can I say before the rest of the call, because I'm assuming the call ended there, while I did pose that question a minute ago, I do agree if we don't have quarterbacks there, we should trade back. There's absolutely no way in hell you trade back every pick for all these things. Because here's the thing, is that's great. You'd have, 14 picks next year if you had 1 pick in every round. But you got to pay these players. Like, I'm telling you, there's this game called Ultimate GM on your phone you can get. And it's like you're basically the GM of an NFL franchise or a franchise, and you've got to make all the decisions, manage the salary cap, do the drafting, scouting, everything else. And I've learned a lot from that game with salary cap, because I had one point where I had like the first 11 picks of the draft one year. But if you don't have a lot of salary cap space to pay for those picks, it doesn't matter. Like, you can't have that many picks. It does, like, you don't pay these draftees much, but when you have that many of them, it adds up quickly.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I think one thing, though, is that you're not really. What I like about the idea is that you're not really trying to have the top 11 picks. It's not.
No, I get that, but even if you have,
the goal is to accumulate picks so then you can make moves that you deem necessary, right? So that you have 2 first round picks and the 20s is more valuable than a pick at 18, because you could say, well, we give you both. I think this guy's a little bit on that. When it comes to The trading back thing is the only look. If we pick a fucking left tackle this year, I am gonna blow my brains out, and not really.
I know what you mean. Out of all the years we had to protect Pam,
Right. Like my mom is watching it, so no, mom, I'm not gonna. I'm like not suicidal. Don't worry. But like, is that finally now we're
Now
gonna
it's
draft
important.
the tackle at 8, and we're gonna slow play this? Ugh.
Yeah, after Cam leaves, we decide to.
After that, yeah, we
two
should have
different
done this
regimes,
in
though. To be fair, 2 different
2014.
regimes.
We should have done this in 2014.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree.
We should.
I agree.
No. And that's why I'm gonna go great. Is that I am on the trade back crew. I'm on the trade up crew. I'm on the trade back crew.
Yeah.
I'm on the get quarterback crew, but I am not on the crew that just goes, this is what we did the last. God, I'm so sad. We gave you that, man. We gave you that time, bro. We gave you that, like, hey, we're not that far away. Let's just pick Vernon Butler. And you're
we've been
and we're trying to make sense out of it. We're over here like, oh, they're pressuring this, but no, bum.
It's not even that they're a bum. It's just that we wait to like we have drafted like we're only a few players away. We've spent free agency like we're only a few players away.
Do that now, and when we're clear. We may have been just a few players away.
Right.
I don't.
I get it.
If we draft them now, oh my god! And on top of that, there is like not a good track record of top 10 tackles hitting. I bet. I would love to go look at what the top 10 tackles are and this and that and how well they are. Yes, a humble flip. I'm sleepy. I woke up at 5:30 this morning. I'm also sad and mad at the thought of us finally doing at 8 what I've wanted for so long. That's where I think you get me, Cody. I think you get me on this. Is that it's not that I don't want them to have a tackle. Oh God! But now we're interested.
Yeah,
in
it's like now it's just annoying.
But you got to keep in mind, it's a new regime, though. Like, I mean, you can be frustrated, but you can't be frustrated at the new regime. You can be frustrated at the fact that we didn't get it back in when Hurney was there or Gettleman was there.
It's a slow burn. Are you ready for a slow burn?
Can I just say this because it just popped into my head? If we don't draft a quarterback this year, the Panthers admitted defeat for the 2021 season. Like all the rumors have been that we want Deshaun or that we want to trade up, that we're in the market for a quarterback. If we don't come away with a quarterback and it's just like, oh no, we were bluffing.
Guess what? What are you going to tell them, Cody? You're going to be like, you should have listened to the C3 Panthers podcast from last year and what Cody Lashley has been saying.
The past 3 years. We've been pounding the table to build the wall.
All the credit goes to you if they just sit there and they just get a player. If they get BPA, all the credit goes to you because that's what they have decided to do. They've tanked a year late.
Yeah. And we should have did a better job at doing it this year. But hey, you live and you learn.
I'm stressed, man. This is actually stressing me out, dude. I don't like this talk. I don't like this talk. All right, next call.
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys since the draft. Right after the draft, I had a crave for some Panther content, and I found you guys on Castbox. And I've been listening. I don't listen to every second of every pod, but I get a good idea of what the boys are feeling. I was definitely on your guys' hype train with Isaiah Simmons. But hindsight 2020, obviously it worked out. But I always like to think of a guy explained it to me as in like the drop off between the best defensive tackle and the second defensive tackle and the third was such a big difference then the difference between the first safety, second safety, third safety wasn't that big of a difference, right? Like from Antoine Winfield or all these other guys. Like Jeremy Chin was definitely a gamble because he played Division II, and now look at him. Like now we clearly got a stud, hybrid linebacker safety. You watch him cover Devontae Adams in that Packers game, and he actually did pretty good. Like stayed in his hip pocket. Yeah, he got burned, I think, on one play, but like I love our draft. Udos Gross Matos. Those guys take a while to get developed. And the Teddy Bridgewater, like, yeah, this is fucking what Chris Sims said at best. Like, there was touchdowns all over the place, like yards. And, like, I had DJ Moore in fantasy as the most frustrating thing ever because you'd watch the game and he would just stare at Robbie Anderson while DJ Moore was wide open. You know it. Like, you almost see it on DJ Moore's face that he didn't like Teddy Bridgewater. Like, he could tell he'd saunter off the sideline, shaking his head. Like, you could tell his body language was like, this guy doesn't even look at me. And, like, it was so Mike Taylor and all these other fantasy guys are watching tape, too. And, like, DJ Moore's open more than not. And that argument about the receptions and the yards and the comparison with Robbie Anderson, like, DJ Moore should have had 1,500 yards if he was the first read and if Teddy Bridgewater actually liked him. Like, there's definitely feel tension just watching on TV. Maybe it's just me, but like I come from a hockey background, turned football fan, got captivated by Cam Newton, most of us, right? And then
easily done, yeah.
Used to listen to Daniel Jeremiah, and they're like, oh, maybe McCaffrey in the late first round, early second round, and sure enough, he went 8th overall. Like, these guys don't know anything. I don't really know. You guys could probably take this out of the call, but and somehow, some way, be able to bullshit with you guys live. I think we could make this thing work. I'd like to get your guys' thoughts in live. So I might be a little better at the phone calling too.
Nah, man. Look. First of all, you Canucko motherfucker. You're welcome to call anytime. Dude, you don't have to be live, but you can leave a message. The number is 252-228-5098. But if you want to be live one day, CK and all you young hipsters are going to teach me how to make Discord for this show. I am starting a Discord channel that I will not keep up with, that I require you to monitor and run. And so just look for the C3 Panthers podcast, Carolina Panthers on Discord. I guess you could probably search it. But with that call, ultimately, it just comes down to frustration, right? My man had DJ Moore on his fantasy team who caught. How about this? Imagine when you get 1,000-yard receiver and you're disappointed in your receiver production. That's what my man called. And he should be disappointed. I'm not saying he should be calling in and be like, yeah, he didn't have nothing, because Teddy Bridgewater threw how many touchdowns this year?
13?
15, right? 14, what was it? 14, 15? I might even give it.
It wasn't a lot. Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
And he fumbled the ball. He threw interceptions. And guess what? He did not have a big Teddy BD. He just couldn't throw it downfield. So
couldn't and wouldn't. Refuse to. Yeah.
All right, let's next call. Cody, lots of calls.
All right, this is Run DMC Lovato, call number 4. I said I wouldn't call it.
Call number 4. He said he texted me. He said I was on something.
I want each of you to give your opinion on this. So this is the Deshaun Watson versus drafting a quarterback debate. This is my opinion on it. I think that Deshaun Watson, trading for him with our roster not ready for making like a Super Bowl run, I don't think it makes sense. We don't have the offensive line yet. We don't have enough to build around him yet, in my opinion. Let's say we give up 4 firsts to McCaffrey and Yetur Gross-Matos for him, right? Something like that. It would take a fuck ton of shit. Maybe just like 4 firsts to McCaffrey. That's a lot. So
All right,
What would you rather do,
look,
or
Tyler,
something?
I got a bump. I'm bumping you tonight.
Well, can I comment on that one real quick?
Yeah, come on.
I have to disagree with that about bringing Deshaun Watson here and us having nothing to put around him. I mean, we have Christian McCaffrey, who's the best running back in the NFL. We have DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel and Robbie Anderson, who are good wide receivers. All we really need to build is get a couple pieces in the offensive line, which you can build in free agency. You don't do the whole thing, but through the draft and free agency, and you could have the weapons for Deshaun Watson to be that kind of player that could carry you. That's why he's that good. Is you don't have to have the elite players around him.
Even without a Curtis Samuel, even without a Christian McCaffrey, this Deshaun Watson team could beat the Saints. I mean, it's just true.
It could win the division. It could win the division.
Davis came out there and was beating tail, bro.
Tampa Bay.
Come on.
We would not be as bad as we were this year. And
I am not scared of Tampa Bay like y'all are. Everybody's like, oh,
I'm not scared of him. I just don't think we could beat him. Yeah.
No, we're not afraid of him. We just think that Deshaun puts us over the edge.
Next year, they won't have nearly the defense. They're not getting all that back. So they'll be a different team next year.
I think that Deshaun Watson, again, we know that's the trade-off. If you want Deshaun, we're going to have to trade a bunch to get him. The question is, do you think it puts this team over the edge to make us a legitimate contender? And yeah, I do think so. And I think even if it isn't this year, our future is brighter with Deshaun Watson. Now, granted, I'm happy if we land a quarterback in the draft too, but as long as it's either or.
We are not getting Deshaun Watson. We are not getting Trevor Lawrence. We are not getting Zach Wilson. And we are not getting.
Hang on.
Pick another one. Who's the third one?
Let me write this down. 3, 9, 10, 15.
Russell Wilson, did you say that?
Yeah, I'll throw him in there too. And that would be the hardest fucking thing I'll ever have to cheer for. If Russell Wilson comes to this, it's going to be like trying to change my opinion on Teddy Bridgewater. I fucking hate Russell Wilson, but I will swallow my medicine. Once we win that game, I'll be like, Russell Wilson, best player ever.
Yeah.
I want to win football games, man. That's what I fucking want. Whatever that makes that happen, that's what I need to happen.
Tony, real question though.
Fine.
What would be harder to try to cheer for Russell Wilson or when there was talks that Colin Kaepernick may have come here?
Oh, God, I would cheer for Colin Kaepernick all day long.
Over Russell Wilson?
NW, yeah.
You're out your fucking mind, bro. Are you serious?
I'm not gonna comment on that.
Oh my God.
He's interpreting it wrong.
No, we're not doing it because of that. I'm talking about from like the perspective that we've already talked about. You hate Colin Kaepernick because of his Superman thing, right? In the playoffs.
I fucking hate him, man. I hate Colin Kaepernick because of the button-up shit, not because of his protest.
But
why do I?
You would prefer to cheer for him over Russell Wilson?
No, I'm just saying that. Yes, I think it would be easier. Yes, I think it would be easier for me to come to terms with Colin Kaepernick. Man, Russell Wilson has fucked my life up in so many weird ways. Like, he don't know it. You
like, he took Sierra off the
market.
We
fucked him up pretty good 1 year, too. 2015, we got him pretty good.
Right.
We played him twice a year.
That helped. Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about, Greg? Those couple of years, those 15, 12 battles, and we beating that ass. We are beating that ass. And we're like beating. And then he throws the prayer up to Jesus. He throws what I call the Jesus prayer. Throws it up, and it's answered. Bro, he would just throw. He makes these plays sometimes, and you're just like, I fucking hate you. And maybe it's Baby Lockett. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's not Russell Wilson.
No,
maybe
bro. You see those moon balls, bro? Like, those things.
He's got it.
But
bro,
you know what? I'd be cheering for that motherfucker like a crazy person. I'd be buying his jersey. I wouldn't buy his jersey. He went to NC State.
You wouldn't buy Russell Wilson's jersey if he came here?
Nah, man, I'm
crazy.
A pirate. I mean, he's a pirate, man. We hate Wolfpack. All right, Tim SD says, what the fuck is Discord?
I know what it is, but I don't know how to use it.
It's
don't-
Discord is
I would-
basically
I would also say I want to know too.
well, it's a great way. The way that I would explain it, I heard somebody explain it today. It's similar to it's like a community thing, right? You can build a community. So, for instance, we have a pretty good community here with all of you guys. Imagine being able to keep this chat going all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because there will be a chat room in Discord for this type of communication. That we can monitor, we can moderate, we can create moderators in there as well to make sure that somebody's not just going straight into hate speech.
Pictures, you could put videos, you
Yeah.
could put things. You could post the latest, like, hey, you would say, Tim would be like, hey, what y'all think? Is Russell Wilson really a Christian, or is he a Jesus of Latter-day Saints? And you can put it up in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a great, like, you can do.
No one laughed at that. Oh my god, that's so rude.
You could do like video, like voice chats, video. Like we could do an entire thing of just video and like just have a hangout. We can have like a movie night with the entire C3 family. You know, it's crazy stuff like that.
So it's kind of a combination of StreamYard and a Twitter DM.
Sure.
It's like think of it as a live chat room. It's a live chat room.
Yeah, I would say that.
Where you can post videos, direct messages, images, GIFs. It's just a live chat room that we all are a part of.
Yeah. And it would allow us possibly at some point to be able to, unless we decide to go a different route, which was Cody was talking about something earlier, being able to possibly take live calls, you know, or have you guys live on the show instead of, just having the phone calls and leaving messages.
All right. So Discord's where it's at. All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey, C3. Name's Taylor. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and fan. I wanted to give you guys a call to continue the quarterback dialogue because I heard a take this past week that kind of shook my world up. Ex-quarterback analyst Chris Sims said that Zach Wilson will be better than Trevor Lawrence and that Mac Jones and Kellen Mond will be better than Trey Lance and Justin Fields. Sounds like a coward or Skip Bayless take, but he's had a lot of success going against the grain in quarterback predictions in previous years. And from my understanding, he gave really good evidence for all the points that he made. At this point, I don't want to give up as much as it would cost for Watson, but I do have a few questions. Would it be worth trading up for the second pick opposed to going for Deshaun? And is it possible in any world that Kellen Mond or Mac Jones could be franchise quarterbacks? I'm not sold on their athleticism or their play wasn't flashy, but I did understand some of his critiques regarding some of the mid-range, short-range balls of Fields and Trey. And regardless, you're just getting a new franchise quarterback and keep pounding.
Keep pounding. What was that caller's name?
I gotta go. Hold on.
Trevor or something, maybe? No, not Trevor.
I press play again.
Hey, C3. Name's Taylor. I'm a
Taylor. Yeah, man. So look, today I just did a video on this channel. I did a film review of Justin Fields. We looked at his games against Indiana, Clemson, and Alabama. Granted, it's only 3 games, but check that out. I'm going to be doing some more quarterback content here. I already did a little Trevor Lawrence video. I didn't put a lot of attention into it because obviously we're not going to be drafting Trevor. But I am going to do Trey Lance and Zach Wilson. And I'll say this, and I've told this to Tony. Chris Sims is actually one of my favorite people to listen to their opinions when it comes to evaluation. Him and I have both kind of agreed a lot. Him and I both really like Justin Herbert. Him and I both really like Josh Allen. And in that class, he had Lamar Jackson ranked as his number 1 quarterback of that class. So I don't have a problem necessarily, and this is coming from a Clemson fan, from a super Trevor Lawrence fan. It's not what I would do, but I don't blame people for having Zach Wilson even ranked above Trevor if that's what they have, because when you look at the film, his ability to throw the football from off-platform positions, rolling out, I mean, he really has this just weird arm talent, man. He has a lot of people really talking him up. I'm a fan of his. I'm going to do a video on the channel about him at some point in time in the off chance that the Panthers do decide that they want to trade up and draft him. Zach Wilson is already on record saying that he would love to play for the Panthers because of Joe Brady. And him and Joe Burrow have the same agent. So they've spoken a bunch of times. Joe Burrow, of course, says how great Joe Brady is for an offensive coordinator. And I think Zach Wilson would want to come here. But that kind of talent, I mean, I don't blame people for saying he looks like Mahomes. Because when you see the kinds of throws that he does make, they are very Mahomes-like. So I don't necessarily disagree with that too much. It's just the Kellen Mond and Matt Jones stuff. More so Matt Jones. I just don't think Matt Jones, especially, huh? I just think Matt Jones is
go crazy about this Matt Jones shit, but then y'all are all right with this Michael Pitt motherfucker. I'm gonna blow my brain.
But no one's
one's the top player at his position. The other guy's just a guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a little different.
And there's also no evidence.
Just won a national championship that just
with the best wide receivers and linemen,
by the way,
and coaching and equipment and everything around him, of course.
Oh man,
playing against other college Jones.
Hey, here's
this Megatron. I don't want nothing to do with that.
Here's a real stat for you. Matt Jones was the third least pressured quarterback out of all quarterbacks in college football. Meaning that guy had forever to stand in the pocket, go through his progressions, and throw to wide open receivers. I'm not saying the man doesn't, can't play football or that he doesn't have arm talent. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying he has to have a very specific set of circumstances to help him be successful. That is not with the Panthers.
All right. Well, let's keep going through with these calls.
What's up, podcast brothers? Hey, 2 words. Taylor Moton, man. You get a franchise tag. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I didn't think we was gonna do it. I was thinking that this motherfucker was gonna go somewhere else, man. But I'm glad to get a franchise tag. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's be honest. Really, really, truly believe if you know who the last GM would have franchise tagged him, or you think, you know what I'm saying, they would have, you know what I'm saying, he would have let him walk. I think he would let him walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hey man, free agency is coming up. Was it this Sunday or whatever, man? You're gonna see, man. I have a feeling that we're gonna dip into the free agency and get some good contributors to the damn Panthers. I really do. And call me damn crazy, man. But I think, this is my opinion, the best free agency we ever had, man. Take it back, 2015. We got some good ass free agents that damn year. We had some damn good free agents that damn year. Can it be done again? I think it can. You know what I'm saying? With this new GM that we got, and y'all know it like I know. This damn dude hits outside the first round. You know what I'm saying? This dude finds gems in a haystack. You can barely see the shit. You know what I'm saying? But he has an eye for talent. So we're gonna see, man. So free agency. You know what I'm saying? And next month is the draft, man. So, hey, man, Panthers, let's do something, man. Let's do something. Keep pounding.
Nice. We're going to need to do a free agency preview at some point here.
Yeah. Free agency technically happens before the draft, right?
Yeah.
Totally. His free agency starts on the 17th, I believe. That's why we saw the franchise tags trickling in today, right? We're in the franchise tag period, and that's why you saw these stupid tweets. You saw all these tweets from, I don't want to say stupid, that's messed up, but Schefter and all of them, they put out, they will not franchise tag. Who's it? Carson, whatever the guy is for
Chris Carson.
Chris Carson. Well, duh. He ain't done shit for 4 years. Like, I mean, nobody's franchise tagging that dude. We did see there was one from the Lions, the Galladay. Galladay did not get franchise tag, but that's not even surprising either. He's dealt with injury like crazy and crazy and crazy. So we are waiting for free agency. The news will be coming crazy. And interestingly, there's been some interest in the Discord chat. Put the link up there. Is you know what? We could all talk about this all day long. It would be like a giant Twitter DM for all Panther fans. So I don't know. Ask Cody about it. Ask CK about it. Ask the children about it. I don't know about it. I already set it up. I set it up. I feel like you guys should make it happen.
No, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. Me and Cody are gonna figure this shit out. You just gotta make sure that we have all the privileges, so that way we can mess with the channel and not need your permission.
You gotta teach me how to do it.
Toss some shit to these. All it is just it's like it's. Don't worry, Greg. You're gonna be fine. It's like AOL.
So
it's like,
CK is the mindset that like Tony is just gonna be able to choose like one of the Discord rooms as like one of the audio inputs, and then everybody is just going to be able to hear each other and be on the video.
Let me maybe use.
I want
this.
Text Discord. That's what I want.
We're gonna figure this out, y'all. We're gonna figure this out. Me and CK are gonna get on this Discord thing, and we're gonna figure this out completely.
Please, but I want us to have a Discord chat conversation all the time.
Yeah,
I wanted to make it like Reddit.
I mean that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like a 24/7 hub for all the C3 fans.
That's what I want.
So I'm gonna share my screen.
All right, I got it up. I'm adding it right now.
So this is Discord. Let me kind of basically walk you through. So basically, this is maybe let me use one that's not so overwhelming to look at.
Yes.
Let me go to Pumas. All right. So basically, what you see with this is you see there's voice channels, and you could literally just go in there. Like there could be just a chill channel where, like, if you're just wanting to talk about Panthers football one night, you could just go in there and see if anybody else is in there, or you could just sit in there and see if anybody pops in. You can come up here to just general and have like a conversation, like, and just like post pictures. You can have like different rooms have different meanings, you know.
My first goal is to build that type of chat right there.
Yeah. I mean, and so you see how many people are here. You have 33 offline, 10 online. You see, you know, the people that are admins and everything up here. I mean, it's a cool place to be able to have a community. I mean, I'll show you Jeff's. His is definitely a lot more intense because he's got a lot more people in there. But like he's got dad jokes, mental health, socials, and gaming, and like you can have like an entire community type of a situation. Like you go to here, just the regular chat.
Where I'm thinking is that we would build initially just a forum. It's just a chat forum.
Yeah.
That we would build together. And then, all right, if we wanted to then later add a channel for as we're watching the game later on. You know what I'm saying? Like we watch the game.
Absolutely. A watch party. That would be absolutely awesome.
But I do want to keep it from getting overcomplicated. And this is that what I think the Discord channel could be is just a general chat for us to where all of us are connecting. Not only look, is that Greg direct messages me all the time. I direct message CK all the time, right? And all of this. But imagine if all 2,000 of us could do that all the time. And I love Twitter. I'm a super Twitter fan. I am the biggest. That's like my favorite. It is my favorite social media platform. It's 100. 100. I like Twitter more than everything else. I own stock in Twitter. And that. But the goal that I would like to really have is to where if we want to just check Panthers news, It would be very similar to a live Reddit forum.
Yeah.
That's what I want to create, a live Reddit forum, a living Reddit forum. The C3 Panthers podcast Discord channel could be that. Don't worry. I need you kids that are listening to this that know more about it to actually just do it for me. Go up in there, post a GIF. I've already got some cats up in there. They know. They know. All right. Next call.
Hey, Panther Nation. How's it going? Jason from Colorado. It's been a pretty quiet week. I was really hoping that this Monday that the NFL was going to put out the salary cap information. Sounded like a lot of analysts were expecting them to do that too, since today was the salary or the franchise tag deadline. So it looks like they're probably going to move that out a little while longer. But I wanted to bring up a rumor that I saw. It looks like Zach Ertz was commenting on some Christian McCaffrey posts.
Who this? I don't like this
some
idea.
mega church down in Charlotte. So it sounds like there's some whispers that Zach Ertz might be one of the tight ends that we've been targeting in free agency. He's a little bit older. I think he's 30 years old. Coming off a down year, in which even in this down year, he had 3 times the yards that Ian Thomas had and 3 times the scores. So, and in the last 3 seasons put together, I mean, he was almost to 1,000 yards in each of the 3 seasons before that. So I think that Zach Ertz could definitely be an asset to this team. I caught Cody's film review of the breakdown on Trevor Lawrence, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the stuff that you've got. It was a lot of fun. And Tony, I wanted to ask many weeks ago, sometime during the season, I had called and you had mentioned that some Amazon executive reached out to you about doing some kind of production. I wonder if you ever heard anything about that. And then this was just a miscellaneous note that I mentioned, and because as each of these teams are going through their pro days, I saw that from Georgia, that Eric Stokes, the cornerback from Georgia, he hit a 4.24 on his 40 and hit 22 miles an hour. 20.8, almost 23 miles an hour.
I sent y'all this in the DM.
That kind of
should have sent it in the Discord.
I mean, it'd be awesome to be able to
pull it up
like that. I don't really know where he fits in comparison to the rest of the talent, but I'm looking forward to learning some of this with Cody's film review on some of these prospects going forward. So yeah, I love the short form stuff y'all are doing and the diversity that's coming with the podcast. The growth is awesome, and I love to be a part of it. Keep up the good work, guys. Keep pounding.
Appreciate it, man.
Definitely
appreciate it.
I love the colors, man. I love how much they give to this show. They breathe life into the content. You know what I'm saying?
And hey, I know it makes us feel good too when we get people telling us how much they love our content throughout the week. You know, we've said it before, we say it again. This is a fan podcast for the fans, by the fans. We do it for you guys. We wouldn't do it if it wasn't for you guys. So we love the feedback. Keep it up. And especially with these film reviews I'm doing, where, to message me and let me know some of the players you want to see, because I intend to pump them out. If you guys like the content and you want to see more, I'm willing to do more of it. Tony,
Eric Stokes thing. Let's see.
Yeah. Right here. So this is Eric Stokes, cornerback from Georgia. Show.
4.2.
That's at 4.246.
You know what that means? That means that motherfucker can't catch a football to save his fucking life. If you can run 4.2, you better be on the other side.
I mean, he kind of reminds me of Dante Jackson a little bit.
How tall is he?
That I don't know. I haven't done it. I haven't.
Look it up. You look it up right now. I'll talk it through. But ultimately, all right. So my man was asking this is like, have we been like, what's the Amazon talk about? All right. So last year, Amazon was like they're putting out those nests or whatever like Google, whatever those little pads are where they put a little TV up in the houses, and they want them everywhere. Instead of you having the Amazon Echo or some shit, they want you to have a little baby TV Echo, right? And they want these slides playing through, like it's like like your weather looks like this, and that. So I did get pretty good feedback. So we were part of this pilot program, and they asked me to do like a 60-second video. Where a 60-second video? Oh my gosh! I was like, oh, I like put my shirt and tie on. I really became a professor. But ultimately, what we found out is I think that our fan base is a little small. Right? Is that all the feedback about the video was fine. It's just like we're going with a different team. That they were just doing a pilot of 8 teams, and they also did say this is they were trying to make it a head-to-head battle, not a battle, but like so this week the Panthers played the Saints, so they showed me for 60 seconds, and then they showed the Saints guy for 60 seconds. Well, this was all the pilot program, and the guy and guess what team he was for? He didn't show. He was a no-show. He didn't get his shit done. So I did mine. I got good feedback. They got a no-show. Guess a team. That would be a no-show. Yes!
Gotta be the Falcons.
Yes!
Of course!
Yes! Of course! Yes. Of course. Exactly.
By the way, Eric Stokes, 6'1", 185 pounds.
Ooh.
And as Brad Dugan would like to point out, them Georgia DBs couldn't stop Florida wheel routes. So shout out Brad Dugan, man. I don't know. I can't give a real opinion. I have not watched film yet on Eric Stokes, but I'll get around to it at some point.
Look, people are already trickling in the Discord chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know what it is.
No.
Look, I just put, is this working? And Tar Heel Erie says, hell yeah, it is. God,
that's what's up.
I think we already got somebody in the oh, that's you, Cody. You're already in the live stream. Nice.
Yeah, where are you even see? Oh, okay, I see it.
Next call. Here we go.
What's going on, C3 Nation? It's your boy J.K. Anderson hitting you up. Man, Thursday is gonna be a great day, man. A great day. Also a sad day, with Greg Olsen and Thomas Davis, celebrating their retirement. I mean, the great part is they signed a 1-day contract with the Panthers. They retiring as the Panthers. Both are Panther legends. The sad day is, it's like, dang, like you wish they would, you wish them fellas would have retired just playing a full season. But, this is business. So, all good. But, I mean, I see, Greg Olsen, man, he's a Hall of Famer. I think, a lot of people are saying, like, questioning would he be a Hall of Famer. I think Greg Olsen would be a Hall of Famer. His numbers, his numbers will prove it. And plus, he's going to be in the media, so being in the media kind of it helps you get in. I mean, look at Randy Moss, look at Chris Carter, look at Shannon Sharp. I mean,
well, those three guys,
a lot of players
deserving of it.
Help them get into the in the Hall of Fame. So I think Greg Olsen. I think people are focusing on will he be a first ballot, second ballot. Once you get in, you get in. I mean, it doesn't matter, it wouldn't matter when he get in. I mean, when he gonna get in, I think he gonna get in probably like fourth or fifth try or something like that. With the media help, he probably might help him third try. Other than that, Greg was, Mr. Reliable, best tight end in Panthers history, man. I love how he played. I love his smarts. One of my favorite moments is like it was happening through a preseason game, and they were going through a 2-minute drill, and Greg Olsen just, he caught a pass, grabbed the ball, and went to the spot, which is smart situational football play. I mean, it's smart play. Most guys that just celebrate, getting the first down, but nah, Greg's like, yo, we going to 2 minute drill, get the ball to the, get to the ball to the spot so the ref can go ahead and spot it and they can roll on. That grab was one of my favorite plays for him. That grab against the Saints in 2015. I think it was 4th and 6. Cam rolled out and threw a pass to him. He barely touched the turf, man, and it's just like a great grab, man. And I think Greg Olsen is just plain underrated during that time. I don't think people really appreciate.
All right, Greg, underrated.
I think so.
Appreciate it. No, we'll go to the next part of the call. I guess we need to hear the rest. What's
going on? This is Jay Anderson again. But like I said, I don't think the outside, the people on the outside of Carolina appreciate him, what he got brought to the Panthers, what he got brought as an NFL player and stuff like that. So, TD, it's going to be hard for TD again, but I think he get in. Once you look at his numbers, I think TD needs to go in the media. That probably help him out too.
I think you will.
Thomas Davis has some great numbers, and coming off from 3 ACL season, 3 ACL injuries, man, and just he putting up numbers like no other, and being beside Luke and putting up those numbers is, it's unbelievable. And was, another underrated spot is like the times that Luke was out, TD was doing this thing in 2015. The time Luke had that concussion, TD was doing this thing through those 3 games, man. He held the defense down and stuff like that. One play I think that was underrated is that hand play that seals the deal for the this is in the playoffs, and that when he when they were going for the onside kick and he saved, he sealed the game and stuff like that. I think that's underrated by TD. TD is a grown man. He's one of my favorite NFL players. I mean, top 5, basically number 2 favorite Panther of all times and stuff like that. Man, TD is a grown man, well dressed, man. I like his style and stuff like that. Shout out to his wife and kids. Kelly, she off the chain. She's a South Carolina girl, so that's a homie right there. When you have TD and Greg and you thinking about the top 10 Panthers, to me, I think they're, you can, I got TD number 5, Greg number 6, but you can flip that around. I mean, I got Steve Smith, Cam, Julius, Luke, TD, Greg. I mean, those 6, I think you can flip. I think 5 and 6, 4, 5, and 6, you can flip TD and Greg. TD, Greg, you can flip those. Of course, Cam, Smitty, Julius Peppers, and Luke Kuechly, they top 4, so you can, no matter what position you put, you can flip those and stuff like that. And another thing I gotta give props to Greg is that rap he did back in the U. That's one of my favorite. Greg had that flow. Greg had the.
I thought you talking about me. I was like, did I rap?
I know who rapped.
Do
Greg
you know?
Olsen.
Hey, please tell me
Greg
you know.
Little?
No.
Greg Olsen.
No, Greg Olsen.
Hey,
The Miami rap.
For a second, I thought he was talking to me about me. And I was like, oh, he's talking about Greg Olsen.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's legendary shit, bro.
We got to listen to it. Real quick.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Have you never seen it?
Yeah, I played it. Remember when we had the farewell Greg? I played it actually.
A4.
I may not have realized I was singing it. Yeah.
Hey, yo, this was
bro.
already, boy.
7-4 crew. Here it is. Bro,
It won't let me in.
This part, no.
Into the Discord?
Yeah, it says unable to accept invite.
Did you, hey, Tony, when you created it, did you say unlimited? Like and everybody, like you can do it unlimited amount with the invite?
told you I didn't know anything about this.
Dude, he needs us, bro.
All right. It's popping up. These people are already. Look, boom. Look, everybody's up in here. Brandon, look, everybody. They're like, I don't even know what this. I'm trying. All right, hold on. I gotta fuck Greg up with this shit. Sorry, Greg. You gotta listen to all of this, homie. I hate to say this, but this like the best shit.
This thing on? Good.
You hear it?
Hi.
Yeah.
This is marvelous. This song, what did I say? This song in its entirety is not meant to disrespect any women in its entirety.
Except for all of them.
Well, you know what? All right, we're in the track.
Yeah, bro, this shit is so good. We gotta listen to the whole joint. We gotta listen to all of them. Until Greg gets
I only know that she was getting fucked on the 7th floor.
Why you listening?
If that bitch only knew that she was getting muddied by the whole crew.
What would you do?
What you do? Hold my nuts. How you do it? With your hands in a smile. True. If you only knew that your hoe was getting dug up like the whole 7th floor crew, tell me what would you do? Would you cry?
Wow.
That's not Greg yet.
I stay lonely, I stay rubbing, stay squeezing that ass for days. Don't fry your ass at replay, that's how marvelous get paid. I keep getting lame, no matter the time of the day, no matter about where she stay. Keep breaking her off and shaking that dick up in yours, eh? As you don't wanna test these pimp ass niggas unless you want your wig split, cause I keep my dick stiff. Stepping around the 7th floor, I keep my eyes peeled for these here hoes.
Your hoe only know that she was getting fucked on the 7th floor.
It is a nice beat.
Yeah, you're right.
If that bitch only knew that she was getting muddied by the whole crew. What would she do? What's your name?
T good.
What you do?
I'm a plumber.
How you do it?
I let it pipe for that ass to make it dance. If y'all hold the one on the 7th floor, then you
Hold on.
Bitch don't want you no more. She told you she met a guy who was nice and candid. I think they call him T
It's
good.
like listening to Saint Lunatics.
He had a big
You
dick.
know?
I thought it was random. Then he put out the fucking
Jason
man.
Lewis said, "Hope Tony's mom is in."
Maybe that's not how it began. Then he brought in all of his 7th
I hope
floor.
no women are in the chat.
The football team. It's also the 7th floor king dingaling. She thought 5'2" was just my number. Then she realized you multiply the bitch up, now you get my dick size. First I put it in the pussy, then in the butt.
We haven't heard Greg yet.
You didn't even get Greg.
Are we ready?
You didn't even hear Greg yet.
I know. I'm saying
Okay.
you got a taste of it. You know where we're at. I feel like I can jump to here.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is about.
What's your name? Big Nick. What you do? Slang dick. How you do it? Hit that
I
shit.
think it's next.
True. We in 704. Come knock on the door. Hoes bouncing that ass all over our floor. Nick, Newty, Good, Marvelous, and the 7th floor crew. We about to run a 7-man train all up in you. So don't bring your man, cause we ain't a fan of dick and shit that'll fuck up our gen. It's just me, you, and the Grey Goose. All these hoes me and you's about to get loose. So just listen to the track and relax. We gon' do it till the 7th floor's roof collapse. So don't worry, don't fret, it's gon' make it hot. He gon' lick that clit and taste the right spot. If your hoe
Yeah. Sorry.
she was getting fucked on the 7th floor.
Girls, you know you hear me.
If that bitch only knew.
You know, anybody who's just now tuning into the show.
Here it comes.
Wait, here it comes.
That.
What's your name? What you do?
Oh, it's not him. It's not him.
Watch me wiggle. We got a hoe on the 7th floor, and Coop got the next. This whole other, she wanna have a dick contest. Asked up that she wanted to take on the 7th floor. The next party we go gonna be with a different hoe.
He's somewhere around here. I told you we had to listen to this whole fucking song.
Damn, how long is this song?
It's 8 minutes, bro. Yeah. It's awesome. It's like, how do you think? What do you think? She said. She was like, that was the longest 8 minutes ever.
What's your name?
Dub C.
What you do?
Trick or
Oh my
treat.
God!
Hit the bag and find my weed up, but my boys got a good girl, but you believe I'm a fucking.
Who said?
Can you just YouTube Greg Olson's part?
Who said, oh my God?
Me.
Oh, man. We might have already skipped it to like the
She was getting muddied by the whole crew. What would she do? What's your name?
T-Buck.
What you do?
Like the fuck.
How you do it?
Throw the legs up and put them in the buck. I ball these hoes up and I beat that pussy in. Beat that pussy down.
John Beeson is in this.
Everybody
too,
on that goose, but I'm picking on that gin. That's why I'm T-Bird Trump.
Only knew.
Oh, here it comes.
She was getting muddied by the whole crew. What would she do? What's your name?
G-Reg.
What you do?
Get head.
How you do?
Drop my drawers and let her see my third leg. Chilling on the 7th floor. I gotta let these chickens know. Big Greg is in the house and I finna make these hoes choke. On my balls, on my dick, then I'm busting up quick. On the face, on the chest, stick my dick between the breasts. Come on, fellas, let's get weird. Stick your dick up in the ear. While I'm laughing at these guys, a second nut all in the eyes.
That's how we do
Oh, Greg said, let's get weird and stick my dick in her ear.
Wow.
Woo! Oh, it's so good.
That
Come
was
on.
crazy.
Guys, look this joint. Look, one more time.
On my balls, on my dick, then I'm busting up quick. On the face, on the chest, stick my dick between the breasts. Come on, fellas, let's get weird. Stick your dick up in the ear. While I'm laughing at these guys, a second nut all in the eyes.
Yeah.
In the eyes.
Come on. How can you not love that, bro?
That was pretty good.
The first time I heard that and actually realized I was like, yo, Greg was going hard as fuck, bro. Yo, shout out Greg Olson, man. Old third leg.
Cool. Yeah.
Third leg, Greg.
Yeah, and just remember, this dude was part of Miami back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he was not even in their heyday. He was on the back end of it. Right.
I wonder how he feels about that now. Like if somebody were to play that for him, like right now, what would he do?
You gotta own it, bro. You gotta own it. And I tell you, that's a great question, CK, because he has the kids, the heart for this and that, and then all the ladies cream over him all day long.
Can you imagine him behind the box?
This chiseled jaw and this and that, and they come out, and my wife's like, "Ooh, this big old." That's
his
fine,
name's Greg
bro.
too, so it's pretty cool. He's
But
automatic.
I'll be like this. You like Greg Olson? Well, guess what he's going to try to do? Fuck you in the ear. Yeah.
Baraka Evangelista says, "What have I just logged into?"
You don't want to know.
We're off the rails, boys. There's only 30 minutes left. What do you expect?
Not 30 minutes. We got to keep going with these calls.
Before y'all keep going, I do got to go. I got to up early.
Right.
Sorry. Appreciate it.
No, Greg, you're good, brother.
Deliver our mail, sir.
Yes. Y'all keep pounding. I'll see y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
All right,
man.
Have a good one.
Hey, and you can learn about Discord tomorrow.
Yes, I will. I definitely will. So, later, y'all.
Peace, man.
What's going on? This is Jay Anderson again. But like I said, I don't think the people on the outside of Carolina appreciate him, what he had brought to the Panthers and what he had brought as an NFL player and stuff like that. So TD, it's going to be hard for TD again, but I think he get in. Once you look at his numbers, I think TD needs to go in the media that probably help him out too. But Thomas Davis has some great numbers, and coming off from 3 ACL season, 3 ACL injuries, man, and just he putting up numbers like no other, and being beside Luke and putting up those numbers is, it's unbelievable. And was, another underrated spot is like the times that Luke was out, TD was doing this thing in 2015. The time Luke had a concussion. TD was doing this thing through those 3 games, man. He held the defense down and stuff like that. One play I think that was go underrated is his.
This is the hand. We already listened to this one, I think.
Deal for the
we already
in
listened
the playoffs. And
how we already listened to
you
it.
know, when
All
he
next
when he was going for the onside
next
kick.
go.
Yeah, he was talking about the hands play.
Man, I'm sorry, I had to call the third time.
All right, we're skipping the third.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City calling.
What's up, Chuck?
I just want to take the time, a couple of things on my mind, but I did want to take the time tonight to thank you, Tony, and you, Cody. Last couple of weeks, you put a little bit of extra work, and I know you put a couple more short videos to kind of go off the ones we do on Tuesday night. And Cody coming in with the draft class and talking about guys and how busy things can be. But it's really refreshing, even if we just get a 5 or 10 minute video on these draft prospects and what you guys think and all the other Panther news going on. So a big shout out for all the work you guys do, because it's greatly appreciated. Now getting to the meat and potatoes of the phone call. Thursday is a very emotional day, as we know, is bringing Thomas Davis home. The man, in my opinion, that deserves a statue at Bank of America Stadium before anybody else. He epitomizes what our franchise is, what we expect our players to be. He gave everything he had. And I was in agreement when we let him loose. It was time. Sometimes you can hold on to players too long. But I definitely wanted him to retire Panther. I know he's going out with class, and he'll be in the Ring of Honor. It could be this year, next year, whenever, but he definitely will be there. One little thing I've got, and this really isn't a problem, because I'm glad that Olsen and Davis are doing this together. I think it's great. I think getting both of them retires Panthers, that's two players we can look at in the Ring of Honor that we can definitely be proud of and look at other franchises and say, look what we've added, look what we have. But does anybody, and don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I really, really like the idea of them both going out together. But does anybody get the feeling that it kind of steals a little bit of TD's thunder with Gray coming back and retiring the same day ceremony? I don't have a problem with it. So I don't want anybody to get me wrong like I'm complaining about it. But it does kind of seem like if you were going out.
This is a good point.
Have a ceremony,
I'm gonna stop the call right there. And I think this is a good point from Chuck. A very good point, in fact, is that at first it seems a little like, 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 what are we really talking about here? Greg,
I mean, you got to think. You don't think that Greg reached out to Tom? Yeah, I guess Tom. You can call him Tom. To Thomas Davis and say, "Hey, listen, you mind if I join in with?" I mean, like they're wanting us to do the same day. Is that cool with you?
I don't think that any of it is intentional, and I don't even think that that's what Chuck is even suggesting.
No, absolutely.
It's kind of like if we both had birthdays on the same day.
Yeah.
And your parents had a little bit more wealth and stature than mine or something. I don't know but here is the thing that I'm trying to say is that Greg Olsen came into Carolina in the season that we had Shockey. Remember we had Shockey? It was like Cam's rookie year, I think. It was Cam's rookie year that we got Greg Olsen. We had Shockey, we had Olsen, and Shockey was even bigger than Olsen at that moment. Olsen grew into not only a great player, but a fan favorite at the same time. Yeah. Like they were married together. His success in football and his fan favoritism, he became this guy that you couldn't talk shit about. Even to the effect that, and let's go ahead and remember this. It was Thomas Davis and Greg Olsen that got Dave Gettleman fired.
Yeah, because they were wanting to give both of them the axe, and Jerry Richardson was like, "No, we're not going to do that."
No, they weren't trying to give him the axe. They wanted extensions, and Gettleman wasn't giving it to him.
What happened? Guess who got axed?
Yeah.
Who got axed? Gettleman got axed.
Yeah.
Guess who was hired?
Marty Herney.
Yeah.
Marty Herney.
And guess what happened? He then gives these contracts to both Thomas Davis and Greg Olsen. Now, they were not absurd contracts, so let's not act like that. But Greg Olsen became a quick fan favorite somehow. Like he was merged into the biology or the DNA of Carolina Panthers fans.
Yeah.
But I think what Chuck is saying here has some real damn merit. And that is Thomas Davis drafted by the Carolina Panthers. Had all of these, a safety that turned into linebacker, 3 ACL repairs in a league where no one gives a shit. Like Alex Smith's over there talking shit about the Washington football team because they didn't believe in him when his leg was about to fall off. The Panthers believed in Thomas Davis. All of this, like if you go back and look at it, come on, man. Who of us really? We thought John Beeson was the beast, bro. It was John Beeson that was the guy.
Let me put it to you this way. Would you say Greg Olsen is the best tight end in Panthers history?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I would too. Who is better?
Wesley Walls.
No.
Not better. Come on, dude. All right, but then let me ask you this. Is Thomas Davis the best outside linebacker the Panthers have?
Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't.
Who is it?
Probably Sam Mills, right? Mills was outside or inside?
It don't matter. He only played here for like 8 minutes.
But was he the best? Like,
no.
would you say that Thomas Davis isn't going to go to the Hall of Fame?
I really don't. Listen, I love
the Discord chat and tell me what you guys think.
I love them both.
No, for real. But like, no, is that Greg Olsen? Is he the best tight end? But does that mean that he's better than Cam Newton? No. I don't know. I don't know if you can compare both of them. And Thomas Davis, the 3 ACLs, the broken arm in the Super Bowl. I gotta say this is that if I'm gonna bring up a dude, look, I got no disrespect for Greg Olsen, but if my ass is gonna be calling the team on the sidelines, give me Thomas Davis, baby.
I hear you, man. Listen, that was the best linebacker duo in the NFL for as long as we had Luke and Thomas Davis, man. I mean, that was the best linebacker 4-3 tandem that there was. And listen, I don't even like comparing them, man. Like, they're both Panther grades. They both deserve it. I don't think one being in over the other does anything is disrespectful. Like, if anything, they played on the field with one another. They went on the field as brothers. They're going to retire as Panthers and as brothers at the same time.
I just think that Chuck is on to something here. I agree 100 with Chuck. And that is, like, I'm ready to celebrate Greg Olsen. But Thomas Davis's career is a different type of celebration. It's one of adversity. It's one of conquering. It's like this and that. It's like he was the fan. He became the mouthpiece of the team. It's just amazing to me. I think that, like, the Thomas Davis story is one of the greatest stories in sports history. And I really believe that Greg Olsen is a great player. But the fact he's the first motherfucker that should not have said it like that. He is the first person who overcame 3 of the same type of knee surgeries and became back. And he was a better player at the end. He didn't come back and just play, bro. 2014 and 2015, this dude was balling. Yeah. And arguably, you go back and look at the tape, he was just as good as Luke Kuechly, if not better. Like, you could make an argument. Somebody could say he is better than Luke Kuechly at that moment.
Who? Thomas?
At that point, bro, he was playing lights. He was at the same peak level as Luke Kuechly in 2014 and 2015.
No, I disagree.
Yes.
I love Thomas, but Luke was a different animal, bro.
Same. They were on. That's what I'm saying. Like, he was at that level. All right, next call.
Yeah, guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City calling again. A couple things. You know, we got about a week free agency starts, so it's going to be big next week what we're covering. I think we're going to pick up a couple of people that have a little bit left in the tank, a couple of people maybe we don't really pay much attention to, who are young guns that really can help us in some positions. I really feel it's going to kind of hurt losing Samuel. A couple other guys we might lose, but in the same time, I think we can bring in an offensive lineman here, a linebacker there, maybe a corner. We could add some depth to our roster. And also looking at this draft, we keep looking for Deshaun and waiting for Deshaun. I think we need to put the white flag up on that. I mean, there's a chance to come out, but we really can't sit around and wait. It's kind of like when your wife's in the bedroom getting ready and you got 8 o'clock appointment, it's 7:45 and she's not ready. You have to make a point. You either got to shit and get off the pot.
Whoa. I gotta stop this. My man said it's kind of like your wife in the bedroom getting ready, and then it was about them going somewhere.
I was about to say, I mean, like, listen, I was really hoping you were going somewhere else with that, Chuck.
I thought we were like, what are we about to do here?
Oh, I like this analogy.
No, yes, all right. Well, keep going, Chuck. Well, tell us where you all are going, because you ain't going into the bedroom.
Got to go ahead and go out the door. We got to go ahead and make plans for what else is going on, guys. I do think we're going to trade up in this draft. I like to trade down to acquire these picks, but I do think we're going to trade up. And it might not cost us as much as we think. I don't know. But I definitely think we're getting a quarterback. Our boy from Clemson, unfortunately for Cody, he's going to be gone. We know that.
He's slipping, according to Daniel
Straight up and
Jeremiah.
give Zach Wilson. Is Zach Wilson the second best quarterback? Is it Justin Fields? It's going back and forth now. Trey Lance, I think the only negative thing, I think Trey
I
Lance
like Trey Lance. I'm crushing on this
a lot of good from that guy.
B team player
The only
now.
negative thing I've seen him is playing for North Dakota State, and the fact he didn't play last year and how long he's been a starting quarterback. He's got a learning curve. And I don't mean to make him look like he can't do it, but he doesn't have the big game experience. And I'm not saying he can't be there and be better than Fields or Wilson, but it might take him, if we draft him, a year or two behind another quarterback as an understudy before he's ready to take the reins. We were so blessed when Cam was drafted and we wondered he was going to sit behind. Remember, we went out and got Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson was supposed to start. Cam was ready, and a lot of people didn't see it right away, but when training camp, before it broke, when preseason started, Cam was ready to go, and he set it on fire. And we might not be that lucky this time, guys. Of course, if we get Wilson or Fields, we're probably rolling it out, but with Trey Lance, I don't know if we wouldn't be ruining the guy. I don't know if he's quite ready to be the starter, although in the end, he might be the best one. But anyway, let's get your thoughts on that guy.
All right, Cody, you have been going live on the channel on the C3 Panthers podcast, and I appreciate your work and your effort there. Is that you've been going up there just now doing a little film review. You started with Trevor Lawrence trying to get your feet wet in the live by yourself game. Then you have moved on. So now, as that Chuck from Elizabeth City has brought all this to our attention, tell us how it dovetails with your work right now.
Yeah, so my next video that I'm going to do is going to be Trey Lance. So be on the lookout for that, either Thursday or Friday. I'm going to go live, do a full deep dive on Trey Lance, study the film, go over some of the things he does well, some of the things that he needs to work on. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is an important time to really talk about him, because I don't blame people like Chuck for being hesitant to, not want to reach on another North Dakota State quarterback or what have you. You hear that they don't play the best competition. You really just have to look at what the player does and doesn't do well and what you see on film. And that's what GMs do. They try not to judge the helmet. They just judge what the player does. And I think if you do that, there's a ton to like about Trey Lance. A ton to like. So in the next few days, we're going to be doing a bigger deep dive on Trey Lance.
All right, next call.
You oily bearded
All right, call number dos.
Those.
Free agent. Let's look at this. It's free agent list.
Whoa.
I just
How do
kinda
I
wanna
miss
get
the
your
first
thoughts.
call?
Maybe an interesting segment idea for the evening, since everybody's already beat over the head the news that we tagged Moton. I wanted
Hold
to
on.
throw a little
Hold on.
cog
I
in
think I
the
might have found
conversation.
it.
So
Hold on. Let me
I
see.
want to know, let's call it your Mount Rushmore of free agent acquisitions that we can make. You know, my list is never going to happen, but this is what I would love to see. You know, we're not
Did
going
y'all-
to afford it, but this would be awesome. This is my Mount Rushmore of free agent picks. So we've got Shaq Barrett. This is my top. Shaq Barrett.
Late.
Still in his 20s. Shaq Griffin might be a little controversial, but we could use him in the backfield. Shaq Schuster. Shaq Henry. Oh, I'm sorry. Juju Schuster, Smith Schuster, and Hunter Henry. And these are both positions we need. I don't see how we're gonna let Juju go. Those are my top four, with notable mentions of Malcolm Butler, who is also a free agent. Titans are letting him walk because of his contract, so we could get him on a good price. But hey, that's my Mount Rushmore of free agent picks. I mean, offensive tackles would be nice, but they are all dinosaurs. The youngest one's Darrell Williams, and we've been down that road. So, I mean, hey, we'll probably go out and get like Tyrod Taylor or something. Like, okay, boys.
Dude, I'd like to have Tyrod Taylor more than
your
Teddy Bridgewater.
dream scenario.
It's the same person again.
Yeah.
Very
100% the same person.
They're not the same.
Yes, they fucking are. What's different about it?
Tyrod Taylor is more athletic and can throw the ball downfield. He just happens to get stabbed with needles in his fucking lung when people are trying to do it.
If you say so, man. I kind of.
How about this? Let me say this again. The way I think about it is this: if we are in a backyard football game, and I am a team captain, and you're a team captain, I will pick Tyrod Taylor over Teddy Bridgewater. Like, I'll be like, give me that.
Logic. I would too, but I mean, like I said, you're not getting that much of an increase as far as a quality quarterback.
Oh no,
how old?
It's a lateral move.
Do you know how old Tyrod Taylor is?
Probably like 32.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if this is real breaking news or not, but Pro Football Talk put out source 2021 salary cap is almost definitely going to be $182.5 million per team.
All right, so lower. It's not. That's not high.
No,
but it's a steady. That's a regular American way inflationary result. All right.
Blake Bettis says his call got skipped. Maybe.
All right. Tell last four of the digits.
6436.
The definition of delusional. Dak Prescott, 4 years, $160 million, $40 million a year.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones has got the Dallas Cowboy fans, the most plastic fan base in America, believing they're Super Bowl bound. People want to dog the Panthers and say we're delusional. The Dallas Cowboys are the most delusional fan base in America.
Yes.
I'm so glad we did not get Dak Prescott.
Say that, Chuck.
Oh, by the way, Chuck from Elizabeth City, checking it.
Nice. All right.
He really is true. They're so delusional.
First of all, I just want to say,
this is my dude.
and like button, smash that thing. But you know, just a minute.
This is my dude, baby.
Just had an epiphany. I just had an epiphany.
My thought with me might be controversial. Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback. I couldn't even get it all the way out before I started laughing. Okay. Let's sit down and business, boys. The NFL still has their list of top free agents. And I just want to look at this list. Your boy Kurt Cove. Look at the way Cam still has a hold on this organization. We still use their nicknames that Cam gives.
Yep, I still call him Kurt Cove too.
Is number 16 on the free agent acquisition list. If we knew, and I'm echoing Cody's sentiments here, if we knew that we were getting rid of Curtis Samuel or not going to resign him, why the heck did we not try to trade for him and get any kind of value? I don't understand.
I'm saying.
And you think this new organization is like a Honey high school boy. We show our hand, we just flop it all the way around. Hey, this is what I want. This is what are we doing? Like, you see the regime change. We fix a lot of these past mistakes from past organization leaders, but look at that. But I'm going to get into call number 2 before I really get into the crux of the free agent list.
All right, so I think I played the calls out of order.
Yeah, you did.
There's something to be said about this, and I'm not like trying to toot my horn because like I'm the person who said it, but last week I am the guy who tooted this horn and said it. And that maybe there is like a learning curve for Matt Rule and David Tepper, and maybe Federer brings in a little experience here, but learning curve when it comes to NFL politics. And they do exist. Like the real politics exists. And what we have not won is any political war when it comes to anything. And not that I really think the Panthers could have played too much better, except for this quarterback position. But then this tweet comes out, Cody, from this guy. I don't know who he is. He got a check beside his name. I don't believe that. I don't get a check. We're the longest running Panthers podcast in the world, and we ain't got no check beside our name. But guess what? We still is. And this guy had a check beside his name. He was like, the 49ers tried to trade a 3rd, a 5th, and a 7th for Teddy Bridgewater. I love my man salesman said, you should change your name to Solier. Like his name kind of had like still heads.
Yeah.
like it was just like, no. And then you put up this tweet, said your response was, said no one ever. That was what your tweet was. But the point being is, what I'm trying to get to is that the Carolina Panthers, maybe Matt Rule, if he is able to succeed and stick around for the long term, obviously Tepper has already succeeded in being the long term, but maybe they're learning a little bit about how do you show them, do you fold them type thing.
I think it's probably a little bit of that. I don't know, man. Like I just
you don't think that this is a little bit of just being a newbie? I mean, we have said this is that you have said it over and over. They showed their hand. Maybe they shouldn't have showed their hand. And stop calling in people. All right. Actually, I will never say that. The number is 252-228-5098.
Just did.
Miserable. It's not my life. My life is great. I love this. Every time we get a call, I'm like, hell yeah, this is what I built.
Yo, my name is Juan. I'm known as Sports Freak 28. Sports Freak 28. I'm just calling with some questions about what we're talking about. This Dak Prescott breaking the mark with the Cowboys and rarely that takes a nap. And Jack Waddies, I just have a question for the four of y'all. what would happen if the Panthers in draft see all the quarterbacks that they were looking at, their main targets go first? What would be the backup plan do you think we might have? Do we trade down, get another quarterback later on, or we stay put where we are right now at 8, hopefully for a trade with another team for one of their quarterbacks to swap picks and move down and get another player for defense or offense? And what else do you think about the rumors about the Philadelphia Eagles want to trade the tight end to us for a fifth-round draft pick? I don't know about all these rumors about that.
Great call right here. All right, thanks, Juan, for this call. 3 parts already. Already 3 talking points. Number 1 was, I forgot number 1. Number 2 was if the Panthers are, you're in the draft, you want to draft your quarterback, you want to draft this and that, and your backup plan hits. What do? You're the Carolina Panthers. You're sitting at 8. The guy you wanted was drafted right before you, much like last year, Justin Fields. Not Justin Herbert, thank you. Justin Herbert was drafted the year before. How do you handle that? What's the backup plan? And I think there's a lot of holes here. Is getting your left tackle at 8 or your shutdown corner enough, Cody?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I would even consider trying to move down a few spaces, like maybe move back 3 or 4 picks, and then because there are 3 corners. I would either try and trade down, but I also wouldn't be mad if we took Rashawn Slater right there, or Caleb Farley, or even J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn is ridiculous, man. He's another corner from South Carolina. So,
all right. Next call.
What was this that the Eagles have tied in?
Oh no!
No. I did want to touch on that because I haven't answered that yet. As far as free agency, I would like to upgrade the tight end position, whether that be Zach Ertz, Jonnu Smith.
Oh, it was the Zach Ertz thing. No, I gotta say no to Zach Ertz, bro. He's old now, bro.
I don't think he's old.
He's not old. He's 30 years old. That's not old. That's not old. And plus, but listen, you have to see both sides of this, though.
Really look it up.
But you have to hold on. You have to see both sides of this, though. You don't want to draft a tight end. You don't want to use a draft pick to draft a tight end. So, knowing that we need one, do you just want to never use tight ends? We have to upgrade the position somehow.
He is starting that. He's not going to be cheap, bro.
Well, would be a trade, and I don't know what the Eagles are wanting for him.
I think he's going to hit the free. I think he might be a free agent.
Can I tell you that I really don't even care too much about the player? It's just the position.
Yeah.
Like Blake Bettis put Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry would be a great pick for us. Jonnu Smith from the Titans would be a great pick for us. Zach Ertz.
Hey, Howard, bro.
Yeah, I was wanting to draft O.J. Howard in 2017. So.
Do we think he's going to be?
I don't want to draft him. I would like to play him.
No, he'll probably be available.
He was hurt last year, and I think he's hitting a free agency.
No. How many calls do we have left?
1, 2.
Let's fucking hit those things.
We're trying, you motherfucker.
David Njoku, that's the name I was thinking of. Yes, we love
Chuck from Elizabeth City.
What up, Chuck?
Late night call. Guys, imagine if we draft Rashawn Slater. Blocking for CMC. What is his name?
Blocking for Teddy Bridgewater.
That's where we need to go, guys.
Looking fucking amazing. Making his completion rate.
Chuck liked that Rashawn film I showed. I don't blame him, dude. He is a people mover.
All right. Last call for you. Tired, sissy children. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the oldest person here, and that's what I like, is I'm the oldest mode. And
I'm glad you like it. You have no choice.
I was wondering, would you guys rather give up more picks and no players, or would you rather give up like CMC and like 3 first? In my opinion, I think we should keep CMC because I feel like Watson would be coming to
to Carolina, part of because CMC is here. I think we need to give up 3 picks.
I'm ready to hear your opinion on this, Cody. Go ahead and tell me, because I'm going to disagree with you.
No matter what I say, you're
Pick your side. No matter what, I'm disagreeing.
All right, cool. Look, I feel like people think I don't like CMC. I really do. I just think he's overpaid. I would prefer to have him instead of not have him. But if I had to pick, I would probably prefer to offload some of the bigger contracts that we have. And if that did include McCaffrey, I'd hate to see him go, but it wouldn't be the end of the world because I think you can draft more competent running backs. Even if they're not Christian McCaffrey, they would be enough to suffice.
You're wrong, bro.
Who cares? I'm wrong always.
I would tell you this. You're 100 wrong. I told you I was going to disagree with you 100, and I am doing that. I will say this, that the fans of the NFL and sports just in general are what have you done for me lately type people. Even like I play fantasy football every year, and I've been playing fantasy football since like 2002 when we used to keep up with it in the newspaper. But the rankings every year are kind of bizarre to me because they are just whatever they did last year. Like who had the most yards are like, that's number 1. This is number 2. So I think that Christian McCaffrey is like one of the top running. He might be the top running back in the league, but one of the top in the generations that I've seen. And we got to give him that opportunity. Wow, he was hurt last year. I think the Carolina Panthers were protecting him. I don't think he was truly hurt that much to where he would not and could not play. I think the Carolina Panthers were protecting an asset there. And so as we go down the line of stuff, I come back to this, is that who is better, Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara? I tell you, Alvin Kamara won me my fantasy football championship in a league that I've been for the last 5 years. I have had no chance. It's a keeper league. Boom. Guess what? I drafted Alvin Kamara in the 14th round 5 years ago, and I cannot have a keeper after 5 years. Like, you can't keep someone more than 5 years. That's part of the rule. So in his final year, in his final game, he scored like 27 touchdowns. It was the most glorious thing, and he won my fantasy football championship. So I love Alvin Kamara. I love him. But I truly think that CMC is better all around.
He is. And Kamara played with a better offensive line, too. So I can argue that McCaffrey did a little more with a little less. So.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about everything. We should ice up Stephen Weatherly for being you know what? How are we going to ice up Stephen Weatherly? How? How am I gonna be like, you bitch ass motherfucker? You took $12 million and chilled. Like, I can't ice that up. I actually gotta just give that a thumbs up.
No, dude, fuck that. I'm icing that up.
I mean,
I'm icing that up. Dude, could you imagine how much your life would change for $12.5 million?
He got it, bro. Like,
yeah, but so like. Do you remember when I told you that me and my mom were watching a TV show called Blown Away? It's about blown glass. And Stephen Weatherly was on the show. And they introduced him as a Panther and everything. And I remember looking at it like, dude, don't you have some other shit to be doing? You know, like instead you're fucking blowing glass. Come on, bro. I hate that mindset. People are taking things for granted. Like, if you have the chance to make it into the NFL and play professional football, and you're gonna squander your chances and play half-ass, You know how many other motherfuckers would love to be in the position that you're in while you're out there half-assing it on a fucking Netflix show? It really did rub me the wrong way, man.
Wonder it though when you scored your contract.
But here's the thing: is like he scored a 2-year contract. This was his first opportunity to show the world that he was not just a backup to some of these crazy defensive linemen he was behind in Minnesota.
He got like 12 million guaranteed or something.
I know, but think about how much money you could have had if you actually put effort in. Like, that was a short-term situation. He wasn't guaranteed money after the first year. And so he was cut. And guess what? That's because he didn't show anything that made him worth that type of money. Well, guess what's going to happen now? He's going to have to take a vet minimum somewhere else and trying to, prove that he's a good fan.
That's my ice up pick. My ice up pick is all right. Who was throwing Weatherly under the bus? Was that you, Cody?
Yeah.
All right. Tell him. What are you gonna tell him?
I'm telling this man to quit taking his football for granted. Go out there and actually play and ice up, son.
My ice up pick goes to Josh Klein. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Josh Klein, Riot Report. All right. So here, I continue to think about this is that every time I see someone from Charlotte media that's local and they don't want to interact with our podcast. And look, I don't troll people. Like, I'm not out there trolling people.
Didn't he come on our show before?
Yeah, he's been up there. He's been up here. But my point is this, is that, like, if you don't see me messaging you and retweeting all your shit, like I retweet everything. Like, my whole thing is build people's brands that I believe in, that I like. So if you don't see that, I don't like this. Is like that the Charlotte Observer, that the Panthers news. I would even I put this on Bill Voth and Gant and all this. They want you to retweet and like and talk about their shit, but they don't give a fuck about your message. And not that I'm just trying to grow my message and grow, but here is that ultimately this thing where your head gets swollen. And I don't want to be too harsh on this. Like, so I'm not trying to be like, come after this dude or this or that. Oh, look, this vet minimum hashtag has got to stop. Maybe it doesn't have to stop. Maybe you've made your point. Your point is this, what, to be sarcastic, dude? Is that what it is? Are you sarcastic, dude? That's what Jim Ryan would say. Sarcastic, dude. Hashtag vet minimum, whatever. Like, what's the real point? Are you trying to be, do you really believe that any player that's good could take the vet minimum, which we know is not true, right? Like, every single player comes by, puts a hashtag vet minimum. It's like a passive aggressive smack to people that also pay your bills. So, you know what is this? Is like my deal is this, is get in the chat room on the C3 Panthers podcast. And guess what I would say is that we ain't going to be paying no fucking Russell Wilson the vet minimum. But I will talk to you in this Discord thing. I'm learning about this Discord right now. So all these other motherfuckers, hashtag pretentious bitches, ice up.
Ice up. Ice.
That might have been a little bit too much at the end. Might have been a little too much. CK, come on, ice somebody up.
It's gotta be, because after I realized when you retweeted the guy who blocked you for like Cam Newton stand.
Corky? This is the Corky dude.
Yeah, this is the same guy that was trying to say, I'm going to ice him up again. Dude's coming after Jason. Our boy Jason from Sports Illustrated, trying to come after him to try to say, that he wasn't a good reporter and all that stuff. Like, dude is just off the mark, and he's making these ridiculous memes dude is just coming across as an unintelligent prick. And so all I gotta say to this guy is, ice up, bro.
Did you love? How about this, guys? Is that first Cody doesn't catch half of this? Like he's on a different circadian rhythm than some of us. But like he'll be all of a sudden we'll be having this conversation, then Cody will get up in it and he knows everything. Cody knows the people, he knows the shit, he knows all of this. Like, right? So like all of a sudden I'll be like, where's Cody? And then he comes up and he's like, I got this. Right. So these homies were going on and on about this shit. Right, the this and the that, and like Cody and CK and I are over here crying about it, and Cody comes in there, he's like blasting, he's throwing elbows at bitches, and then and then what about this? Is that these motherfuckers were siding against us, and then they ate their own. They turned on themselves, bro. Like they were friends until not. And then they fucking devoured, like I said, they devoured their own children, bro. This art was awesome.
Real quick, go into the share this thing I'm trying to share real quick. So this dude on Twitter that we're talking about, I guess he was trying to go at one of the guys.
Yeah.
He was trying to go at one of the guys from the 4-Man Rush podcast or something. And it was like saying missing one happy cam stand. And he literally made this. He took my picture along with 7 other people on Twitter that he can't stand that go after him all the time and made a meme, I guess, thinking it was funny.
It was the stupidest one I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah, it's the dumbest shit in the world.
I liked it. I thought it was
yeah, whatever. Hey, at least it lets me know that I'm in his mind more than he is mine. Plus, it blocked my ass.
How about this? Can you name people up there? I can name 3 people. Maybe 4.
Yeah, that's Mike Vella's.
Almost. I know you. I know Vella. I know Kuntz. I feel like I knew there's Jay Tisdale. And that guy, yes, I know him. Number 5. All right, good job. All right, this is the C3 Panthers podcast. My name's Tony Dunn. Smash the damn thumbs up button if you hate us. If you love us, do it as well. I don't know what else to say. What else do I say? Is that look, every Tuesday night we get up here, we talk about the Carolina Panthers, we keep it real. We talk junk to each other. We talk junk about y'all. And we have fun and love all of it in the same part. That's it. CK, where can they find you?
You can find me on pretty much any platform, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Code Dizzle Allen. I stream most nights outside of Tuesdays because I'm here and Sundays. So, guys, and now that we have this Discord thing, might be something that keeps me, entertained during the day as well, guys. So that'll be cool. As you guys get news or anything like that, post that shit over there. Any memes, anything that you find to be absolutely hysterical, clips, whatever, like even draft prospects, like Cody can use that to maybe even go through the list because we know that, we can get it off Twitter. We can get it. Just give us a little bit more, I guess a closer eye on what you guys want. And so I'm liking this Discord idea a lot. So just definitely join up on that and stay active.
How can they find the Discord if they look and just teach me about Discord?
You need to create a link tree first and foremost that you can post on all your social media. And then that'll have
someone is listening to the audio podcast right now and they can't see the link. Can they search?
You can put it in the description. Why don't you put the Discord link in the description for the podcast?
I definitely will do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
But you cannot search it. You'd have to either go to our it's not something you can just join up. You have to have an invite to join a server. And so if you create an invite that's open and can be used unlimited times, you can just post that link anywhere that anybody can find it. You can be your Twitter handle. It can be your link tree if you decide to make one. It can be on every single podcast description, every single YouTube video description, all of those things.
All right. Well, check the show notes. I will put the Discord link in. Cody, checking out quarterbacks. What else you doing?
Yeah, man. Check out my content on drafttech.com. I'm the Panthers analyst over there. I write all their first and second round picks. I've also been writing the first round pick, and will continue to, or the first pick in the draft. I'll continue to do so for the rest of this year. And yeah, man, holla at your boy, and keep your eyes peeled to this channel, because I'm going to continue to do more and more film breakdowns on this show. You know, maybe I'll even get to a point where I'm knocking out one like every day or every other day.
Do it.
Hey, man, don't dare me out.
You'll make a video a day, and guess what? We'll be right. One of them.
Yeah, right. One of them we'll be able to.
I will watch all of them, dude. I'm excited about it. I had a busy day at work. I was trying to check the text. And you know what? Is that it was a little choppy at point, but everybody was loving it, homie.
Yeah, man.
All I got was good feedback on the channel. There be people in the comments, this and that. So you better keep chopping it up.
Oh, I will, man. I will. I love everybody in the chat room showing love, and yeah, it's fun. I love watching film, breaking down the things I do see and don't see. I'll get into the spicy hot takes depending on what player we're showing at the time. But yeah, man, keep an eye out for the channel. Hit the notification bell for whenever we go live, and that's it for me, man.
All right, I was up at 5:30 a.m. this morning. I'm calling it a night, homies. Peace and love, as my man Cody Lashney says. Keep pounding, and God bless Deshaun Watson to the Carolina Panthers. I will see you guys later. Sabrina.